Morning.
Neckbeard.
Yeah, I know, right? Nice neck beard, bro.
Yeah.
Sorry, that'd be me. Ooh, my collar's kind of. Now that I see myself on here, my collar's kind of blowed out.
All right, there's a lot of people here for 8:30 in the morning on a Sunday.
Yeah. I'm not even here yet.
Yeah. I don't know. My hair's not here.
You're right. Yeah. Don't talk about hair. Here's my fuzzies.
Yeah.
I found some gray hairs the other day.
Yeah.
I've got it right here on my chin. It's like a good solid ring, and I'm like, oh no.
Yeah. No. Every morning I get up and go to pick out all the storm hairs out, and a lot of them are attached. So.
A lot of them.
Which is okay.
Yeah. You're gonna get that ginger, salt, and pepper look.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, welcome to the show, everybody. Today we're going to talk about bowling misconceptions. I think this will be a fun one because I've got a bone to pick. I think he's got a bone to pick. Urethane.
Always.
And then I'm sure that several of you have bones to pick that you want us to talk about as far as stuff that you can't get through to people in league, or things that frustrate you that you'd like us to chat about, expand on, offer our thoughts on, whatever else. Don't forget, if you have any suggestions or anything, breakdownpair@gmail.com to send us stuff. We've been kind of slacking on the email the last few times, and we're trying to get a nice balance for the show between drinking and rambling and hitting a few high points to kind of keep things moving a little bit more than just kind of chasing rabbit trails endlessly.
Because we talked about, didn't we talk a little bit about doing going back and hitting a couple segments again?
Yeah, we'll go back and hit a couple segments, and the coaching things are fun. So if you want to send in videos of you bowling and you want our tips, pointers, whatever else, then we can play those on the TV here. And that was a pretty popular segment to help people out with, or just any. And then we had a guy that sent in several emails for several weeks, and we touched on a bunch of those points, stuff that he had to say. So if you have anything that you want us to talk about, breakdownpair@gmail.com. So
okay, perfect.
We actually have a Norseman beer.
Me too.
This week we finally remembered to get one. This one's a red IPA. It's called Nice Beard Bro. That's kind of an inside joke in the craft beer community because they all have beards, and so it's just nice beard, bro.
Oh, and it helped we were there.
Yeah. So yeah, it just works.
It is very good. So it's already been tasted.
However,
we're drinking something else first, apparently.
We do have a submission from wherever Angel put it.
Suppose your benchmark. Randall, we'll get to that.
Yeah, we'll get to that.
We'll take to that.
We get to this.
What is?
Adam Riley.
Oh, that's right.
Gave me a beer for us to try. It's called Beer Wolf Ale with chocolate, orange peel, and cold brew coffee. So
I'm already hungover.
Yeah.
That doesn't sound great.
My liver's furious.
Yeah, my liver's furious.
So we will give this a shot.
Hi, babies. It's not as dark as I thought it was going to be, honestly. It really isn't. It's a tall one, so we're going to be able to...
Close. We'll see. Okay. This is from Great Lakes Brewing Company.
Thank you, Adam Riley.
Yeah, the Rileys have family up in Minnesota.
Minnesota?
Minnesota.
I can't do that accent. I can't, even if I tried.
Yeah. I spent a whole 2 weeks in Minnesota, so.
That's not bad. It's not what I was expecting. I was expecting more coffee. Hi, buddy.
No, that is pretty. The chocolate. You get the chocolate.
Yep.
Most of anything. I don't get so much of the orange, but the orange peel probably lightens it up a little bit.
It is.
And so yeah, I do kind of get that on the back end.
You definitely have it's definitely there.
I think the orange peel is more to balance it out. And there's one that we'll be talking about here pretty soon. It's almost ready. My brother, for his 300th batch of beer at Norseman Brewing Company, brewed one specifically as a bowling collab. So I went there and I really just kind of stood in his way and took pictures while he brewed it.
I can
But
picture
it's
that.
kind of he used to bowl way back when, but they're calling it the Striking Viking, and it is a black cream ale. So it's actually darker than this is. It looks like it's not quite as like thick
Pretty dark.
or like opaque as a Guinness, but it's kind of like, do you remember their Schwarz beer, the black
Yes,
lager or something
yes.
like
Yeah,
that?
I do
That's
remember that.
darker, but it's not like thick or whatever. So what he did, it's a cream ale, so it's kind of like a Budweiser. It's a very light drinking.
Like regular Bud?
Yeah, yeah, like regular Bud, but he used a darker malt, I believe,
Interesting.
or dark, a darker barley or something. I don't brew beer, so, and I was there, but
That's pretty cool, though. Just to see
he
that
will,
process.
he will explain it. We'll either have him on the show or we'll do a show from the brewery
That would be cool.
on a Sunday morning. And
We have microphones now, so we can
Huh?
actually do that.
yeah, we could do brunch. Yeah, that would be epic. We could do brunch in a stream. It'd be a little chaotic, but
Yeah.
Well, maybe he'd let us in up top.
yeah, he might. Yeah, he might let us in up top, or we can at least go up to the upper level where the
That's what I mean.
where the pool table's at.
Yeah, because didn't we did a Rise and Grinds from there once, didn't we?
Yeah, we did.
Yeah.
We did a couple.
I don't know that it was a rising.
We-
Ground. I
we
think
done-
it was like a preview because we were coming here to drill. Like,
Yeah,
like
we've done a
the-
couple. We've done a
That's
couple
right.
live streams or something. And James has been here, and
But we have these now, so it'll sound so much better. Because it's always last. I went back and watched what we did. And it was hard to hear us, but it was also
Yeah.
busy. So
But
yeah.
yeah, if you actually sat up top and then had the
Yeah.
ground level as the backdrop, it actually was really cool.
that would actually be pretty cool. Yeah,
So
I'd like that.
so yeah, it's a black cream ale, but it's got a darker malt, and what happened is it made it a little roastier than he was expecting. So he put some Madagascar vanilla beans in there to just kind of even it out, and so it's got this nice. And again, if somebody would tell you cream ale, you kind of think vanilla.
Yeah.
You kind of think
Yeah.
kind of that kind of thing anyway, and so it actually really worked. What are you doing? Why are you bad?
Well, that would be really cool to see that process in general.
Yeah,
that would be a lot of fun.
I took a lot of pictures, and I got a couple videos and whatever else during the process, and
You have to share them with us when we go to do that.
yeah. So
Come
I've
up on
got
stream.
those on my phone, and I'll arrange those and get those up, and I'll just hold the phone in front of the camera.
The dogs
Do
are
a
over here
super trailer
smelling
park.
the heck out of my hoodie because all they
Mhm.
smell is dogs.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry.
What you doing, Storm
No,
Dog?
they love it. Don't be sorry.
Friends.
What are you doing, Piglet?
I smell friends.
That's exactly it.
So anyway,
Touch on the
Um,
dogs stream.
yes, next Saturday, which is the 18th. December 18th, we're having our annual Positive Tales Dog Rescue fundraising stream. We do it once a year around Christmas time because around the first of the year, most of the rescues, and the rescues right now are just packed anyway. I mean, they've had to turn away a bunch more than they've been able to take, but they just have dozens and dozens of dogs a week, and they need help fostering. They need help with expenses most of all, because some of these dogs they've had to pull and board,
Really?
because the one that we got didn't get along. Him and Storm didn't get along at all. So we had him a night and went and took him to boarding, and the boarding's only $15 a day. But if you've got however many dogs in boarding
Yeah.
and
And some
whatever
of
else.
the boarding's really good for the dogs because they can socialize.
Yeah.
But it gets expensive.
Because this is an annual thing, correct?
mm,
Yeah.
Yeah. Plus, it gives it like the year-end wrap-up stream. It gives
Yeah.
the balls.
Yeah. We've
yeah,
got
yeah.
all
So
kinds of stuff
it gives
like that.
it gives us a good topic to discuss and talk about while we're doing the fundraising stream. But the other thing that happens is they're busy enough this time of the year, but most people, or there's a lot of people that get dogs, puppies, whatever else for Christmas,
Yep.
and then if they get a husky or something that they just can't. They don't realize, most people, oh, they're cute and the kids get all excited, but then they realize that they're work, and then
They're a lot of work.
so around first, second week of January, a lot of people dump Christmas dogs, puppies, whatever else. And so
That's so
the
sad.
rescues get, especially the rescue shelters, whatever else, get especially hit around the first of the year. And so we got a bunch of prize packages and whatever else. We're already up to what, $900, $1,000?
Almost $870.
Yeah, we're almost up
Awesome.
to $900 already. in donations, and so we've got 6 prize packages we're giving away regardless. 7.
Mr. Bill donated Danny.
Oh yeah, we gotta
put something with it. But
Oh yeah, Mr. Bill did do the Danny Wiseman thing too.
yeah.
So yeah, there's actually
So
7.
okay, so we have 7 prize packages for however much we raise, but once we get to 2,000 or
To
2,500, we have a couple extra. If we get to 2,500 and then to 3,000, you're doing a jersey.
I'm already giving a jersey away for the stream. I'll give another one. It'll lock in
We're
another
actually-
jersey.
Well, and actually that's going to combo because James offered an OG Supra.
Oh, there we
So you
go.
get your jersey and the Supra.
There we go.
Together.
Very good. I thought
So,
I saw
yeah.
that, but I couldn't remember what ball it was.
So yeah, if we get to $2,500, then he's donating a Coolwick jersey.
Extra Coolwick jersey of your choice in stock.
Yeah, and then James, that we have on the show quite a bit, he's donating an original Supra.
Yep.
And some of these, like the VIP Affliction that we've got, the Supra, whatever.
Those are the only 2. That's all you get.
Yeah, and those are they're both discontinued,
Yep.
and they're 15 pounds. So don't worry if you win something or like, well, I'm not going to use a 15-pound VIP Affliction. Find some motive head or go trade it out with your pro shop or something because somebody's going to want it.
I will tell you, the afflictions will be valuable in a short time. Once the pro shops and everybody doesn't have them anymore because it was a limited edition release.
Yeah, once they disappear, and the Supra is getting kind of hard to find now too. So you will be able to find some kind of if you don't want the ball, you will be able to find somebody that wants it and will give you a good trade for it.
Yeah, I do agree with that. Yep.
So don't worry about
We'll
that.
just see if we get to 3,000. Maybe I'll throw in another one.
Well, actually,
3,000, we are going to donate a 2-ball pack.
Oh.
2 balls of choice.
yeah.
Ooh,
So that's
there we go.
that's the thing. If we get to $3,000 raise, which we did $2,000, $2,100 the first year that we did it, and we got to, and then last year we got to 2,500.
Only 22.
Okay. So
Got
we
to
got to
22 last
2,000.
year?
Yeah, we got 2,000 and then 2,200 last year. If we can get to 3,000 this year, which we're already almost at 1,000, but if we can get 3,000 this year, I will donate 2 balls of your choice.
Boom. And it's every $10 donated gets you an entry into the drawing.
Mm-hmm.
And there's no limit.
Yeah.
So if you donate
Yes.
$100, you get 10 entries. You can win more than one prize.
Yeah,
100%.
there's-
Yes. You can win multiple times. You could actually turn out to win all of them.
Yeah, so $10 an entry. Just to
Yep.
recap, $10 an entry. And we did have a guy last year that won that
2 years ago.
Won several, right?
we drew 2 numbers.
Yeah.
So it's not one of those things where if you win once, then think if you donate $100 and you win one, so then the other ones don't count. No, if
Nope.
if you donate $200, you get 20 entries, and if you win all 5, or if you win 5 of them, you get 5 of them. So it's
And the link for donating is PayPal and Venmo is in the description.
Yep.
So
yeah, Angel's got all the stuff in the description. If you want to go ahead and get your entries in now, we close. We will start streaming about 7:00.
we are
next
going that
Saturday.
day, so,
Next Saturday night. So we're not exactly sure what time. We think that we'll get started on time because what are we bowling at 1?
No, 10.
Oh, we're bowling at 10.
Well, 10 both days.
Okay.
So it's just
And is
the
it
only
8
thing
games?
that's gonna push us back.
The grand finale.
Grand finale, I think it is 8.
Okay, it'll be 8 games, but we'll be done. I don't know.
I bet we're done.
So
By,
we should be
I bet we're
leaving
done
there by
before.
3, which
Yeah.
should give us time to get something to eat and still stream, and everything should be good.
yeah, I think
Yeah,
I think
so-
we'll be done by 3:30.
We should be good
Yeah.
to stream about 7:00. That's when we're going to shoot for. So 7 p.m. Central next Saturday for the fundraiser stream and the year-end recap. We're going to have James. James is actually going to be. Oh, Tobias said 6 games Saturday.
Oh,
So
Even
yeah,
better.
if that's
Tobias?
if it's 6 games, that's even better.
I'll
Come on,
check
Curtis.
Facebook just to be sure.
Yeah,
Yeah,
please do.
we'll pull that up and check.
For some reason, I
But-
thought that the grand finale was 8 games.
Yeah, we're gonna target 7:00, and again we're gonna have James here. And we're gonna do a year-end recap. So we're each gonna have our picks for like ball of the year, surprise of the year. We're gonna have a few different categories. We're gonna pick stuff in. We're gonna rank some stuff. We're gonna talk.
Shelf appeal.
Yeah. We're gonna talk a bunch of bowling stuff while this is going on. Now we'll try to cut off entries, donations, whatever else by 9 is what we
Ball
normally.
of the year, least impressive, shelf appeal, underrated, and surprise of the year.
Yeah, so we have a few different categories.
Yep.
Okay. Saturday is 6 games cut to the top 4. Don't have to worry about that.
That's fine with me. There'll be 3 of us here. Yeah, it'll be Luke, me, and
Sunday's
James on
8 games
Saturday,
because that's
so.
the Black Cloud doubles.
Yeah. So yeah, the only kicker that would push us back is if any in the group.
No, Sunday's the Christmas cash
for
doubles.
now.
Yeah.
Christmas cash.
Oh, was last weekend the Black? Yeah, last week.
Last game was the Black Cloud. Yeah.
This is Christmas.
We
Oh,
actually
Christmas.
shout out to Mike and Dave what they're actually doing, and Kim what they're doing here at the end of January for the women. It's pretty cool.
Oh yeah. There's a women's only tournament.
Yeah, they're doing a women's only tournament, and then the next day is a mixed doubles. So
Yeah,
shout out
yeah,
to
so
them for
that'll
that to
be
get the
good.
women
Yep.
involved in the Tour KCs more. That's pretty awesome. So they were supposed to do it last year, but I think something happened with COVID, so they
Yeah, they
something
had
with COVID they had to shut it
I
down.
think
But
it was the centers.
yeah,
They're trying to find
Yeah.
centers that could host it with the
Yep.
requirements with the counties. I think.
Yeah, I
it's
think
Yeah, so-
Belton was the only one that didn't work out.
yeah, it's pretty cool though that they're gonna do that because I'm excited to go watch, and I get to sit and drink and
Yeah,
not throw
yeah.
bowling balls.
Let's sit there and don't have to bowl.
Darn.
We can be the ball caddies and ball reps and whatever else.
Yeah, you're gonna have to listen to your wives complain all day.
I never fry. It never
I
happens.
mean-
I'm gonna be the guy. I'm gonna look like the ball rep carrying around my backpack.
You have about 7 or 8 years of listening to you complain to even get close to even.
It's gonna be so much fun.
Right.
And then we get after they piss us off, they get to turn on bowl with us the next day. All right, sorry.
So yeah. Anyway, Doggo Stream. It's for Positive Tales Kansas City. You can check them out. It's positivetaleskc.org, I believe.
Yep.
Is for the website. We've been fostering for them for several years, and with our current situation, we got 3 dogs now. We just
Well, it's not so much the dogs as much as my dad.
yeah, and Angel's dad's had some health issues, and so we just and this last foster that we tried, he was the first one that didn't get along with the dogs, and so we're just too busy right now to do that, but we can help in other
And James
ways.
just shared the Discord link. If you join Discord, you can actually see pictures of the items.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
yeah,
you can.
that's
We've
true.
got we got a Balls for Doggos channel. So if you want to see what you're entering or what your entries will possibly
Which you can
win for
What you can possibly win, yeah.
and if you want to just check out the organization that you're donating to, positivetaleskc.org.
Give them a follow on Facebook too.
So yeah, you can check them out on Facebook. We got all kinds of great people doing great things for animals. So if you're so inclined, donate some money and maybe win some stuff.
And we all love dogs, right?
So yeah, except the big fluffy
Yeah.
white one.
And then I got a cat that we rescued that,
Yeah.
and then I paid for that price.
Yeah.
No, he's good now though. No.
Yeah.
But yeah, it'll be Luke. It'll go Luke, myself, and James.
Yeah.
I'll be in the middle chair, so
So you can still see the TV.
yeah, exactly. Exactly. I actually said that to Angel the other day. It's like you don't have to worry about that. I was
We can
like,
prop it up and we can turn the sign on.
actually probably.
And a rotor grip
No,
sign
no,
on
I'll be
there.
writing them out.
Yeah, I don't know.
Sorry. All right, carry on.
Anyway,
We'll be good.
we will go on ahead now that we've rambled and blathered for 20 solid minutes. We will go on ahead and talk some bowling misconceptions.
I can show you the show today too.
Yeah.
It's here. If you want.
So
I'm different. As long as
let me
you're
grab
gonna
these
do
few
it,
questions
I'm
if these people are still here.
Oh yeah, I want to hit this question.
Randall, what ball is your benchmark right now? It's really the phase 3 is what I've been throwing here recently. I've been trying to throw the idle Helios. It's just too much shape. I need to
Now,
put.
We discussed this before. What is your definition of benchmark?
Yeah, the benchmark ball should really be something like an IQ tour set. What you want is a reaction that's in the middle somewhere.
That can be a misconception.
Yeah. And that's the thing is, some people will say, well, this is my benchmark ball or this is my benchmark ball or whatever else, but that doesn't help when you go to, if my benchmark ball right now is a 4-inch Pindown phase 3, that's most of the time going to be on the outskirts for people. So from a general ball reaction perspective, you want something that's kind of right in the middle so that you can pull out that ball first when you go to a tournament. In league, if you're bowling the same houses every week, you know what you're going to throw.
Yep.
I mean, you kind of have a game plan for each house that you go to.
Unless you're engaged, you abort mission.
Yeah.
Oh.
It's not even, God, my gauge strategy used to be bowl 2 games and go home when they had the lane shield down.
Yeah.
Because it was good for 2 games, and it got
Exactly.
so fried that it...
Well, it's like that place is so weird. It's because the middle of that place, the middle to the high end is just terrible. Like it's just absolutely terrible. Like it could be 15 degrees outside, and you think you're gonna come in and they're gonna play a little tighter because it's cold outside, et cetera, et cetera. You walk in there and the ball's hooking at your feet, and you're like, "What in the heck is going on?" Abort mission.
Yeah. So a benchmark ball should be something Venom Shock,
Yep.
IQ Tour, possibly Phase 2, possibly, what else do you guys, well, the Pride.
The Pride is
the Pride,
the
Pride
Pride
would be-
actually would be the perfect benchmark ball.
Yeah, the
if you're
Pride,
looking
and
shape-wise, yeah.
that's exactly what you're,
There's a lot that use a Venom Shock too still.
Me.
yeah, but the Pride is probably the best definition of a benchmark ball that you guys have
100%.
right now. Ours is probably, the Phase 2 is a little chewy out of the box. But the Phase 2 might be our best benchmark because they're kind of right in the middle on, we still have plenty of stuff that hooks more than the Phase 2. We have plenty of stuff that hooks less than the Phase 2.
Yep.
We have plenty of stuff that's sharper than the Phase 2, and we have some stuff that's smoother than the Phase 2. And so you want something that's kind of in the middle so that you can pull it out of the bag first.
Like an
when
IQ Tour-ish?
Yeah, it's... but it's something you can pull out of the bag first, especially when you're going to tournaments or centers that you don't normally bowl in, or when you're at tournaments that are like the KC tournaments normally have different patterns down.
Yep.
So it's something that you can pull out first and say, okay, well, I need sharper or I need smoother. I need more hook or I need less hook. And so it should be kind of a standardized, instead of just saying, well, this is the first ball out of my bag, that's not a benchmark ball.
Yeah. Benchmark is smooth, predictable shapes, right?
Yeah, Roto Kyle just hit it. You know, I rambled for 3 minutes and he got it in a sentence. Definition of benchmark just means something that all else is measured against. Everything is relative to that ball.
Yes.
So
Absolutely,
yes, it gives you the most information. So if you pull a Venom Shock or a Pride out of the bag first, or I pull an IQ Tour out of the bag first, you throw a couple shots with it, see what it does, and then you know which direction you need to go, if any.
Yes.
And sometimes that's just the ball that you stick with.
Yeah, it's either this is going to be really good, or I need more, or I need less.
Yeah.
So,
Now, when it comes to your benchmark ball, it may be different. It may not necessarily be something like that. If you're kind of unsure, like there's several places that we go that we're pretty familiar with.
Yeah.
We go to Tulsa enough that we know what those houses do.
hook.
We go to Springfield enough that we know what those houses do. We know we're really familiar with the houses in Kansas City. We know what they do. Houses around here, whatever else. And so we kind of know what we're going into most of the time. And so at that point, you get a little beyond the benchmark ball and you have a first ball out of the bag for you.
Yeah.
So even though the Pride or the Venom Shock is a benchmark ball, your first ball out of the bag most of the time is a Jackal Ghost. Because it's just, that's the best place to start. And
To me, I'd rather start big and work my way down.
Yeah.
That's just me, though.
Uh-huh.
So,
well, and that it's one that you're pretty comfortable with too.
yeah.
And so mine lately has been, I've been trying to again use the Helios, but it's too sharp. There's way too much shape, and I wish I'd have drilled a little bit differently. And that's one of those that I might pull an idle pearl on. And
I would actually like to see the plug work on that because how bright it is.
well, and
That'd
see
be cool.
that one actually I could do an Axiom pearl on, because I did that same thing on the Axiom pearl where I just plugged the fingers and kind of shifted them over. I made it a 5-inch pin into a 4-inch pin.
Oh yeah.
I didn't have to move the thumb or do anything with it because it's such a small difference. But I think it's just going to be too much ball.
It is pretty sharp.
I think I need to let it go.
Just let it go.
Because even again, the promotion turns sideways for me. The promotion hooks plenty. The IQ Tour Solid moves quite a bit too, and so I just don't need to fight with anything that's just that sharp. It's just too much ball for
Like
me.
even Curtis said, what about Pindown?
Yeah, well, and that's the other thing too, is that there's plenty of ways, especially from the staffer thing, if there's a ball that you just don't match up with, you're like, well, I know what I can do to make this work.
Yep.
But I've already got a Jackal Ghost that I like. I've already
Yep.
got the Affliction that I like. I got the Recoil. I got the Venom Shock. I've already got my stuff, and so something has to be really good to break into kind of your regular rotation.
Mm-hmm.
And if it doesn't do that on the first, it's like, how much do you actually want to work with something just to force it to maybe get to a situation where, yeah, you could use it, but would you actually choose it above something else that you already know what you've got?
Well, especially when it comes to scoring. I mean, yeah, you're 100% right. I mean, you're just gonna you get to that point where I know, like you said, I know what the Ghost does, I know what the Shock does. You know what your I'm trying to think what you've been throwing lately.
The Phase 3, quite a bit. What do I got in the bag down there?
You just
The
know what's coming.
Yeah, the Phase 3 RSTX2. I've been trying to mess with the Helios, and so I've been playing around with a few things. The Hustle Camo goes everywhere. I don't throw that near as much as I should.
Tour Solid's been in and out.
Yeah, the IQ Tour Solid's been there. I need to get the UFO Alert back in there, too.
Axiom's been in and out.
The Axiom, my new Axiom that I drilled for the Helios comparison's been really good.
Trevor throws the crap out of that alert.
Yeah, that's...
The alert's going back in. The altered probably going to come out.
Yeah, the altered reality is probably going to come out. Again, it's just too much hook, too much shape. I tried to throw it again on Friday, and it just...
The ball looks so cool, though.
Yeah.
Not gonna lie, it does look really cool. I actually saw on, not to go down the rabbit trail here, but I saw on
If
Facebook
he
for
didn't
sale the
drill
other
the
day.
pin out, we would probably just flip balls.
Oh yeah,
He could take the Wolverine.
I saw-
Which is what I wanted to do, but he leaned the other way.
I saw a blank XFactor and a blank Domination the other day.
I did. I saw that. I wanted to pull the trigger on that XFactor so bad.
I almost tagged you, like, dude.
It
Yeah.
wasn't an original X Factor though.
It was.
It was an original XFactor, 100%,
And
and,
that's not the post I saw.
and an original
Oh.
Dimension.
Yeah, brand new.
Trevor says if he saw it, he would have bought it. I was like, I can share
And
it.
they
I'm sure
weren't
it's still
that
there.
they weren't that unreasonable.
No.
Like one was 350 and the other one was 400 or something.
Yeah.
So.
If you're watching right now, give us a shout.
Yeah, yeah.
It-
Yeah, because that XFactor was the first. I mean, that was.
Literally, I threw that ball like crazy, and that ball sitting right there, the depth charge.
Yeah,
Those were
so
both
that-
in my bag at the same time.
Yeah, when Storms first started getting on the map way back when, the El Ninos were good, the charges were good, but they didn't really have the XFactor. When the Trauma came out, that perked a lot of ears up, and then when the XFactor came out, that was a monster release.
And it smells like chocolate.
Yeah.
Yep. It's that ball was so silly.
Mm-hmm.
It would not react the same though. It would sit on the shelf.
I love it.
Oh yeah, I've got a Trauma Recovery sitting down there. No, 16 pounds, but there's no way I'd drill it. 'cause
You'd
it
have to
just-
drill it.
Huh?
You'd have to drill.
I mean, I'd
XFactor.
have to, but
I
I'd
love
be
it.
so disappointed because it's 20 years old. So.
Yeah, no. I probably would not have let you buy it.
I mean, they were like blank and looked amazing.
Yeah. Well, the XFactor basically looked like a Marvel Pearl.
Yeah.
So it was really sharp looking, and it kind of acted like a Marvel Pearl too. So it was.
Yeah.
I mean, so it was just the Marvel Pearl 20 years ago.
Another guy was selling an Ace,
Yeah.
an XFactor
That's
Ace,
the one I saw.
which was blank. But I think correct me if I'm wrong. Didn't the XFactor Ace come right after the XFactor?
Mm-hmm.
Thought so. That is actually a ball
Well,
that I did.
They had the XFactor. They had the XFactor Deuce.
The Deuce, yeah.
Then they had the XFactor Reloaded.
I never threw the Reloaded.
I love the Reloaded.
I don't think I ever threw that one.
That was kind of an aqua blue silver type of looking ball.
I remember that now. Okay.
Then they had the Fear Factor.
Yep, I remember
The
the Fear
X
Factor.
Factor Ace was like number 5 or 6.
Okay.
Because they had they had the X Factor Triple Extreme.
Yeah, I do remember the Triple
I
Extreme.
like that one too.
Triple X, yep.
They had the X Factor Trifecta.
Okay, yeah, you're right.
So yeah, they had a bunch of them. They just kept it going, and it
I
was.
mean, the Fear Factor was pretty good too. I mean,
Yeah.
they came out with a lot of.
Well, and that's
good
the
stuff
thing is,
back
I
then.
really like the Fear Factor, but not a whole lot of other people liked it.
Heck, I liked it.
Yeah, it was early and smooth, and so.
I think we discussed this before, but you were talking about the Super line,
Mm-hmm.
the Charge line. But my very first 300 was shot with a Storm Superpower.
Mm-hmm.
I still have the ball, by the way. And
And the Powers, that was another good line.
that big turd still hasn't even cracked yet.
Yeah.
It's just sitting like thing is so beat up, and I can't believe it hasn't cracked. I have to bring it and show it to you on one time. Sorry, go ahead.
But,
Somebody asked how you have your never mind. They're talking about the Helios on here.
yeah. But anyway, the benchmark versus your first ball out of the bag, I've started going back to quite a bit is the phase 3. I should throw the camo more, but the phase 3 has looked really good again because I've got it drilled stronger. It's already a strong core. I've got it drilled stronger, so I kind of wanted to make it a little bit earlier and slower. And pin down stuff doesn't really. It's a little lopey and it just kind of lopey and wishy washy. Anytime you kind of weaken ball reaction on the left side, it doesn't. You want like stronger pins most of the time because we already have. The wet is wet and the dry is dry, and so anything that's kind of lopey and wishy-washy doesn't really work out. So going stronger on a pin for me is like going weaker on a pin on the right side. So I had my phase 3 on the right side was pinned down, and it was like 5 inches pinned down, so it was pretty weak. But I also
phase 3, you said?
Yeah, the phase 3. I also kind of banged on the right side. And on the left side, the 4-inch one is perfect because it's still got kind of the sharpness. But I'm trying to think. My phase 3 kind of reacts for me like your Pride does for you. Like it's
really,
yeah, it's a little bit more smooth and buttery and
that Pride though for as smooth as it still wants to go for me. It wants to go left.
The phase 3 is the same thing, is where I can get it to blend out, and especially now that I've got some use on it. It was pretty flippy out of the box, but anyhow, so the phase 3 is kind of one that I've been trending to a lot lately. I've been moving a bunch of stuff in and out, trying to play with stuff, and then of course we get new stuff, and you want to try to throw that. But I'm kind of going back to default. The hustle camo goes everywhere. The ProMotion still goes everywhere. The phase 3 is now going everywhere, and then the other 3 slots, or the other 2 slots I get. Yeah. I've taken the Helios for 3 solid weeks now to both leagues. I've tried it at tournaments, and it's just not working out.
Have they announced the new stuff yet?
They did. The Nova and the Spectre. They announced those.
I guess we can show those off,
a couple days ago.
We can show those off.
Actually. Well,
and I have an Odyssey here.
Yeah,
I'm not getting them.
Yeah, I can't show them.
Okay.
I have to wait until Christmas Eve.
Do you really? Even though Storm showed it on their website.
Don't ask.
Okay.
It's dumb.
Never mind. I do. If somebody wants to see an Odyssey, I do have one here. So.
Yeah. Well, we have other stuff. We have the Altered Reality and the Wolverine. This is.
Oh, here's a question. What ball or balls had you very disappointed in 2020 that you thought, why do they do that?
Oh,
okay, unfortunately, catch us next Saturday.
Yeah, that's coming up. That's what we're talking about next Saturday.
Yeah, we can't. If we were to do that right now, it would spoil it. So, unfortunately, I won't answer that.
Good Lord.
And neither.
Oh man, they got this on really tight.
Dude, you just turned redder than you already are.
Yeah, I know. They just. I don't know why that's so tight.
Yeah. I'm just kidding.
Yeah. Yeah. I just don't have the grip strength.
He did it. He listened to
Yeah,
me.
I loosened it for you.
Also, why didn't Motus give us that hybrid jacket? Yeah, you just never know. You just never know.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Malcolm. All cute they match. Yeah, he.
I wanted to blend in with his skin color.
Yeah. So he got one of the. He got one of the fire honeycomb quick, and these are sharp, and I match this too because it's got some orange in it, it's got some white, it's got some gray, it's got whatever else. Speaking of a sharp ball, this thing is
will you grab my it's on the
freaking sweet.
And
the Wolverine, if you haven't seen that, that's a lot cooler in person. So this one has a lot of gold in this kind of salmon color, and then this gray. It's got this charcoal and then this lighter kind of whitish gray that's really sharp. This looks really good going down the lane. And then the Wolverine is actually almost kind of a 3-color ball. It looks like an idle pearl, but it's got some really, really purple mica in it. So it really pops in when it's shiny. So,
thank you. You mean pour that? I hate pouring out of these growlers.
Yeah. The first pour out of those growlers just goes everywhere. So. Yeah, I think you kind of figured it out. Yeah,
I just kind of gripped it and.
Yeah, I mean, you can just fill the glasses up because that's what we're on now. This is the Nice Beard Bro Red IPA. So it's halfway. It's an IPA that's also kind of like a Scottish red too. So.
I'll just leave that one second.
We're gonna talk some misconceptions, but we also kind of want to show off some bowling balls too. Everybody loves bowling balls, right?
Yeah, this is one of my favorite ones that my brother's done so far because I really like. I'm getting into the IPAs.
look ridiculous.
And I really like reds. I really like Scottish reds.
Almost got my thumb stuck. Scottish Reds. Oh yeah, they're sorry. Keep talking.
I really like those, and this is halfway in between.
Keep talking.
So it's just
It's only going to rotate. You don't have to pull that out yet.
yeah.
I'm just opening the box. That's all it is.
But yeah, the Ultra Reality looks really sharp. It is a bit too flippy for me. And so I am definitely getting another one of these or redrilling this one or something like that because, again, like I said in the review, my Parallax is amazeballs. The Parallax is just amazing. And this ball reminds me a lot of my Halo Burn because it's got that stronger cover to where it still kind of digs in and wants to slow down. It doesn't want to go, it doesn't like the RSTX2, something like that. It just pushes too far. It just wants to get down the lane too easy. It just glides. This has that traction that kind of really stabilizes in the mid lane, and then it's still kind of flippy, but still kind of controllable on the back end. There's sometimes when the Parallax is just too smooth. And I do still have my burn. I redrilled it for lefty, but I want to try to throw stuff that people can actually buy, if at all possible. But sometimes the Halo Burn's just going to come out, and especially since the altered, it looks good. But again, if you watch in the review, I got to throw it so hard. I've got to throw it so hard, and it's got so much punch. And that's what I've been fighting here recently. Is I've just got to throw everything so hard, and that's not my game at all. So I can show off the stuff in reviews.
Just give it the big wheel.
When it comes to actually using it, I'm using Hustle Camo 4-inch Phase 3, ProMotion, IQ Tour. I can get the RSTX2 out every once in a while just because it's so clean in the front.
Kind of looping in the same thing you're talking about, Curtis says, how about strong ball for long patterns at 903? The timestamp in there.
I don't see a timestamp.
What?
I can't see timestamps in here.
Oh, you're on the
I can't see timestamps either.
Yeah.
Really? Oh, God. Okay. So his question is, well, scroll to where I commented.
Pop out chat. Toggle time. Oh, toggle. There we go. Toggle timestamps. There we go.
Exactly, Colin. That's why I want it.
Yeah, go up to your top right there on the chat.
Yeah, because I'm a mod
The
on
three
this, right?
the three dots
Yeah.
and go down to toggle timestamps.
Oh, that's what that is.
Yeah, they'll turn them on.
Okay, go to 903.
Learn something
Curtis
every day.
asked a question.
Yeah, I saw Curtis.
Okay, then talk about that.
Okay.
Because that is.
Oh, that's a whole new chat.
Strong ball for long patterns. Yeah, it depends on.
Because you're talking about flippy and being too much ball.
Well, yeah, and that's the thing is strong ball. It depends on the volume of those long patterns because we had long patterns in Belton.
Yes, 44. Both days.
Yeah,
Yep.
but 44 both days, but they were 25 mils both days.
Yep.
25 mils is a medium amount of oil for a 40-foot pattern. But remember, like Kegel Paris, or WTBA Paris, whichever one it is, the original Paris is like 45 feet long, but it's only 22 mils.
Yep.
And it's all right in the middle, so you can't move too far right because the ball just hooks instantly. You have to kind of play the middle, but it's so dry and it gets drier, but then you can't move left of like 30 because, again, it's kind of built like a house shot.
Right.
But it's longer, but it's lower volume, and so it kind of messes with you because people think, oh, it's 45 feet, I'm automatically using big stuff. It's like...
That's where we wanted to get into with the misconceptions. That's one.
Yeah,
definitely one of the
well,
little bones I
the
wanted
other
to
thing
pick,
in Belton, too, it really messed with... the top 36 was tougher on the lefties than it was on the righties, but then when we got to the next day, it was tough for everybody. Or everybody was on the same playing field on Sunday.
We just bowled on lithium. Like, it's a wreck pattern.
Yeah, that's what I'm going to say. Well, the one that we bowled on titanium on Saturday, I thought was harder, or I thought was easier than the pattern on Sunday. Now, everybody whacked the pattern on Sunday a little bit more because it's basically like Saturday, but a little bit more forgiving. But I didn't think it was more forgiving.
Other than your top four or whatever, or top casters, the score was low.
Well, that's what I'm going to say. The scoring pace really didn't change. Who was scoring changed, but it was similar enough from day to day.
Yeah. Like, for example, we bowled on 44 foot on Saturday on titanium, which is a pretty heavy volume on the 7 out to the gutter-ish.
Mm-hmm.
So if you miss it, if you're right-handed and you miss it to the gutter, it would just wave a goodbye, or you're going to wash out, one of the two. But stuff like that is where everybody thinks you have to throw big, strong solids, like a Ghost or a Proton, or
Yeah.
because you say 44 feet, they think, oh, I've got to throw this. No. grab a big shiny ball, right?
Yeah.
And just get in and just wheel it.
And what happened, I was throwing the Axiom for a while on Saturday, for a few games on Saturday, and it looked really good for a few, and then we hit a couple bad pairs.
Yeah.
I mean, this is, well, I'll talk about that in a minute, but
It's okay.
the Axiom blended everything out.
Yeah.
Everything else was just hooking crazy, and sometimes you use big stuff specifically to blend it out.
Yeah, exactly.
Not
Yeah.
for traction or hook, but because they kind of burn up at 30 feet and then kind of blah, blah, blah. And so, yeah, I was able to just kind of flip the Axiom out there, and then it just kind of went.
That's perfect.
So, yeah, it worked out a whole lot better than anything else that was too flippy.
I mean, I threw a Jackal Flash almost all day, pretty close to most of my day on
Which
Saturday.
is, that one's clean, but it's rolly off the end of the pattern. The Jackal Flash is a lot like our UFO Alert.
Oh, really?
Where it's clean up front, but then it kind of rolls. It's really round and kind of rolly off the end of the pattern. Where it's not, again, it can be sharp, but it's not really sharp, and you don't really want to play a whole lot of lane with it.
Yeah.
It's better to just kind of shoot it down the side and let it gets 30 feet really easily, and then it just kind of rolls up to the pocket.
You're right. Actually,
So,
it's pretty close then. 45 feet to hit their big.
So, yeah.
But yeah, it's there's a lot of misconceptions that everybody thinks on patterns like that, though, that you have to throw big, strong, solid stuff because you see 44 feet, and
No,
definitely not the case.
No, it depends on the lane surface and the oil volume.
We really need to touch on lane graphs sometime.
Yeah, when you talk about lane graphs, it's a little hard to see. We might have to get something out there, but yeah, somebody said it's all about the Storm Passion. Remember the Paradigm and the Paradigm Passion?
Paradigm? I had a Paradigm.
Yeah.
The lane graphs might be when you have to record so he can
All right.
edit.
Oh, gosh.
put up-
Yeah.
The last time we did that.
Storm B28, one of my favorite guys here. Two ones that drive me crazy. I'm drilling this in the negative, which, yeah.
Which one?
I don't even know what that means. 904. Now that we have timestamps.
I know, it's a whole new chat.
Yeah.
Whole new
And then, yeah,
world.
John Schroka, we'll have a bunch of that stuff next Saturday for the stream at 7 p.m. Central. Yeah, and then Pindown hooks earlier. I do not know where anyone ever got the idea. Why one person...
Misconception number 3.
One person in 1967 said Pindown hooks earlier, and it's been that way for the rest of
Time out.
eternity.
Where did you get the date?
I don't know.
Okay, I thought
I
you were being...
just remember him. You remember Dane Cook?
Yes.
I went to one of the very few concerts or whatever that I've actually gone to. I went to a Dane Cook show at the Sprint Center.
No, you didn't. You actually saw him live?
Yeah.
I'm jealous.
Yeah, I went to
Sorry.
a Dane Cook show at the Sprint Center, and he was opening one bit, and he was like, well, back in the day, which was a Wednesday, by the way, fun fact. So it just randomly pulling dates and whatever out of the air.
That's just...
That was one of his bigger jokes.
I don't know why, but I thought you were actually being serious about the date.
Yeah, which was a Wednesday, by the way.
Like 19...
But yeah, Pindown hooks are Pindown raises the RG
Yep.
and lowers the differential. So it makes the ball want to go longer, and it reduces the flare potential. So it makes it want to go longer and be smoother. But because somebody said it hooks earlier, it's been that way for the rest of the time.
Whoever started that is like just started this.
Yeah.
It's like telling your high school
Yeah.
people.
Pinup is actually...
Quicker.
Yeah, it's quick. It's early. It lowers the RG. It raises the differential, so it's more aggressive across the board.
100%.
It's earlier, stronger, and sharper.
Yep.
Pin down is used to get the ball down the lane and then control the
I
back
have no
end.
idea where it came from because it's been that way forever. People talking about that though, like
Yeah.
the pin down versus pin up stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's been that way forever. There's
So-
pro shop operators out there that still tell you that
Yeah,
pin down.
yeah. Oh my
or-
god. Yeah, pro shops. You want to talk about misconceptions? Holy
Well, I mean,
crap.
let's keep firing them.
All right.
Put
So
on the list first.
yeah, I'm looking at this. So anyway, I have something that I really want to cry and whine about. You have something that you really want to cry and whine about. So who goes first?
I mean, I always want to cry and whine about urethane.
Yeah.
I think urethane came up in the chat, so start with urethane.
I always want
Yeah.
to cry. You want me to start on that one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
let's
always
go
wanna-
with urethane.
I always want to cry and whine on urethane. Please, please.
45 feet, they hit their biggest ball with
Colin said
newspaper.
something in there too. Where was Colin's comment?
I
Yeah.
saw it up there.
Do you,
Okay.
well, do you want me to hit
Just-
that?
well, I was going to add
This
it
is
into
why
your
bowling isn't
conversation.
done on paper.
Was it about urethane?
Yes.
Learning Odyssey looks like a ghost with more back end reaction.
Odyssey looks
Yeah.
like it. Actually,
Yeah,
that's
kind of. Yeah,
that's why I am so excited for it. Thank
Yeah.
you. Carry on.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we're
it's
drilling it after the show.
That urethane isn't for
Got one right here.
lanes.
Yeah. Get it out and plop it up here.
Oh, let me take that.
Yep.
I got one, right?
Take the salmon ball.
Take the pretty one that you wouldn't let me have when I told
Sorry,
you.
I got to smell the motor smell. It smells
Well,
so
no,
good.
I wanted that one, and I knew the Wolverine was going to look good for you, and so
Help me out.
it's one. Yeah,
No, I
you
got
got
it. There.
Yeah, this one looks really sharp.
Am I good?
Yeah, this one kind of. It's got some. It's like a brighter phase 2,
It is, actually.
which so it looks really cool.
I mean, shelf appeal wise, it's pretty good.
Yeah, and that's what I think Motive does better than any company out. Storm's put out some pretty good looking stuff, but I think Motive, and especially the pores for me, is what I really like about the Motive, because they're all different. I don't know how many Storm balls that we get, and if they're in the same run, it's just every pore is the same. Every pore looks the same, and the Motive pores, especially with like the Fatal Venom, some are all silver, some are all green, some are in the middle, some are blotchy, some are streaked, some are whatever else. And so with Motive, you could literally collect different pores of the same ball. And then
they're all
the
cool.
Neomark graphics are the coolest things out
Just
there.
have them in the covers. Yeah, I know. Like even the M's pretty cool. Look at that M on it.
Yeah. I mean, it's so freaking sweet looking.
We just the only issues we have is we don't have three to 7 brands. So,
Yeah,
we
I'm-
fight. All
I'm
that
big
stuff.
into marketing and advertising, so I love stuff like this. That I love the psychology of what makes people want to look at something. And it's one of those things when there's some ugly balls that are really some ugly balls that have a great personality.
Yep. Yep.
And people won't even pick them up or look at them. So it is something to where you have to, like, we were in Walmart the other night, and I saw a bunch of god dang hand sanitizer with Baby Yoda on them. And it's just one of those things that blows my mind. Is like, what does hand sanitizer have to do with Baby Yoda?
You
But it's
looked
going
at
to
it,
make people look at the hand sanitizer.
And little kids
I'm
go,
like,
"Daddy,
yeah,
I
there's
want
the Mandalorian
that."
and Baby Yoda, and it's hand sanitizer?
as my daughter calls it, tanitizer.
Yeah, but I was interested.
Or no,
So-
hanitizer. That's what it is. The biggest beef with Motive is they rarely really solid color
This is
bowling balls.
Tongue twister. This is a great point that we
Let's-
were talking about. What about us bowlers that adapt to a ball and don't buy a ball to suit my game? That's the Staffer thing to a T.
Or was
and
it?
Yes. 907. Tongue twister. What about us bowlers that adapt to a ball and don't buy a ball to suit my game? Staffers. We get a bunch of different stuff. We go through a bunch of different stuff. You have to accept what works for you and what doesn't work for you, even if something is new. Like, I'm not going to be able to throw that altered reality very often, if at all. I'm done with the Helios. It just way too much ball. It's way too flippy. I really love the way it rolls because I'm a huge Idol fan. I love the Idols, but the Helios is too flippy.
I love the
It's
smell.
just too flippy. I've got Synergies as backups because I really love that one. And it's flippy too, but it's clean enough. Like, Helios is way too flippy for how much it hooks. It hooks a ton, and it also turns sideways. The Helios the Synergy is a whole lot cleaner, so I don't have to fight it near as much to get it down the lane. I've got an Idol Pearl backup. I still have an Idol Pro, so I like the cleaner Idols. The original Idol was too much hook. The Helios is too much hook. But the cleaner ones, the E-Trax versions, I really like those. And then any of the overseas ones, I'd love to get my hands on Austin Bolds has an Idol Black Pearl that he's trying to get rid of, and I can't pull the trigger on that one. And then the Idol Pink Pearl that's pink and blue, that looks really good.
Trevor doesn't have that one, does he?
Oh my gosh.
No, he's got it. No, he doesn't have
Yeah, we got all kinds of other pink stuff, but
that. What do pink balls do?
yeah, we all know what that means. I will explain. That's another thing on the stream next week. I will explain what pink. Well, I've explained it on these streams before too. It means absolutely nothing. I was writing a review for something, and I watched the videos like JR Pro Shop and Darren Tang and whatever else, and they're both informative, but also kind of casual and funny too. And I'm not funny at all. I just kind of drone into the camera, and it's just boring and dry and whatever else. And so I was trying to say something funny, and it was about a ball. It was the hyped hybrid, and I'm like,
which one?
Okay, the hyped hybrid, the one the pink, the pink and silver and whatever else one.
Yep.
And so I'm thinking, I was like, well, let's put something kind of funny in here, or whatever else. And I'm like, I don't know. I like pink stuff. The Halo Burn is one of the coolest looking balls ever. I've got pink IQs. I got a pink High Road. I don't have a pink High Road. I have a pink Phase. Then we have pink Hustles, and we got a couple pink Badgers and whatever else. And so I'm like, oh, yeah, well, the hype tide, it's pink. And I'm like, okay, well, I don't know, it's pink. We all know what that means.
You can check that out on the Instagram.
Yeah.
Because I recorded it.
Mm-hmm.
And it literally caught you the next week where you're talking about blue balls.
Yeah. Blue and pink. I don't know.
Maybe you got a DM Bolts. Colin, BRB got a DM Bolts.
Yeah.
Austin Bolts.
Yeah, but I think he's still got an idle black pearl.
The UC3 staffer hype was pretty funny. I mean, I'm not on staff with them, of course, but I mean, it looks pretty good.
Well, and that's the thing is I was trying to get to be more, because I used to do like opinion skits and whatever, and then they got a little bit out there.
Yeah.
But
Babies.
This was a big thing when Ebonite came out with the original mission. It says, does it affect ball reactions? I don't know, but pigment texture, 10,000% is different. Yes. Yes, they do. You know, the color of the ball will change the ball reaction, believe it or not.
I think you just.
When Ebonite put the mission out, they tried 21 different colors before they settled on the red. Red reacted the best.
Really? I did not know that.
Yep.
That's pretty cool. I think you opened up a can of worms talking about his black IQ or black, what was it? Black what?
Yeah.
Bulges?
Yeah. Idle black pearl.
Everybody's DMing him now.
Yeah.
Huh, sorry, Angel.
No, you're good. I can't remember.
But yeah,
he's gonna want to punch us.
So yeah, I used to do funny videos, and then I got some flack for them, and then I stopped doing them, and then I got boring, and now people are not watching as much.
The UC3 video was great.
They're watching Darren Tang and JR Pro Shop for exactly why they stopped watching me a couple of years ago. It's funny how it's gone. Like somebody said they went to look at an old ball video from like 7 or 8 years ago, and they said it was awful. I said, yeah, they were so awful that my early ones were good.
They'll come back.
And now it's one of those things where it's like people just wanted some actual ball reviews, and now they're kind of getting into more the entertainment thing, and that's where Darren Tang fits in so good because he does the Twitch gaming. He's got kind of that Twitch gaming spin.
That's where I have a question.
Things.
Do you think that's comes to so much stuff from COVID that it just gets old after a while? The ball review, the throw the ball down the lane.
Well, I think what happened is that everybody got so serious for a while, and then you got the staffer shills that are in there that just try to sell everything. Tell you everything's the next coming of Jesus.
We like to sell, but at the same time, we want to fit.
That's why we have a million balls. That's why we make 1 million balls in the catalog. I don't know why anybody ever thinks, well, it's brand new, so I have to sell it. I have to tell everybody it's the best thing ever. It's like, well, we got Storm, especially with the global edition, we got 40 balls in the catalog. Why do I have to talk somebody into a specific ball just because it's new? That's stupid.
I don't know anything about that.
Yeah.
I get like four or 5 years. I'm so hyped every time they tell us a new one's coming. Brett always tells us, FYI, here comes the blank, 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 and he always does the lines.
Yeah.
So you can try and guess the name.
Yeah. So anyway, I tried to go back into get back into some of the funny stuff. And again, I had somebody call me out. I had somebody call me out in the staff group about it and say, it really bothers me when people talk bad about bowling balls. I just really don't think that we should be talking bad about new releases. And
I know the story. Yeah.
I'm like, okay, well, verbally abusing youth bowlers is okay, but he draws the line at
boom,
making a few jokes
Punch
about a
bowling.
Thrown. Yeah.
Hope you're watching.
Yeah. Oh, he definitely blocked me. He's definitely not watching.
Definitely not watching.
But yeah, verbally abusing a youth bowler is okay, but we draw the line at jokes about bowling balls.
Draw the line about saying a bowling ball is bad.
Mm-hmm.
Darn. Well, guess what? Turn in on Saturday because we're going to talk about bowling balls that we did not like.
Hi, buddy.
We can all guess which one we didn't like.
Come on, buddy. Come on. Come here, buddy.
Problem is, I don't know if anybody's going to guess mine.
Are you a storm dog?
I've asked you before,
I know. It's okay, Storm Buddy. I know.
Can we show them off on Saturday?
Yeah.
The table will be out. We'll be
Yeah.
able to-
Yeah, we'll move the table out and we'll kind of go more widescreen and show
Yeah.
off more of this ugly wall.
I have a 0.
Yeah, we need to paint it. I just don't.
I have
know
a
how
0
much.
storm
Yeah.
goat balls on Wednesday after. I tried watching Tank Flick Night videos. Cool idea. Couldn't handle how often he hit on league.
So
bowling
somebody
sessions.
else was complaining about
I
that.
know.
It's like, God, I can't handle the league bowling complaint. But again,
Yeah.
once you compete for stuff, league bowling, it's a little monotonous.
I get bored.
But
with league
I get bored doing, and
there he is.
that's part of my
He's here now.
buddy. What you doing, buddy?
He
You know,
said,
buddy.
"I wanted to be
I
on
know,
your
buddy.
show."
And your new Christmas collar that we got from Max and Neo.
bowling. You did get a Christmas call.
Yeah, those are those special collars. So if you the loop right there, the metal loop that you hook the
Just unhook
Like
it.
that?
yeah.
That's cool as heck.
So it actually, if they go to pull or try to back up, it tightens so they can't back out of the collar.
That's pretty cool though.
Max, for anybody that has dogs, Max and Neo martingale collars.
Well, and actually, if you purchase from Max and Neo, every item you purchase, they donate to a rescue also.
Mhm.
He says, "It's
Hi,
your
buddy.
turn, Dad. I want to come up here and play."
Hi, buddy. Yep. Okay. Well, I guess
But yeah, you're right though. On the
Shut your laptop.
yeah.
you're 100% right though.
Hi,
He
buddy. Yes. This is a storm dog. We still don't know. We need to get a DNA test. We still don't know what he is
I'm
yet.
waiting for a coupon thing.
Yeah, he's mostly husky.
he's literally just
He's
all
def-
white and
he's-
then the blue eyes.
He's
It's
definitely
gorgeous.
mostly husky.
He pretty boy. He pretty boy. Well, he had you changed his name because he had the same name as which dog was it?
Oh, it was
Aspen.
Aspen. Yeah. His name was Aspen, but we already have an Aspen.
So it had to be changed. You can't
And
go.
then we had that German Shepherd that we had that was Ace. We renamed him Simba.
Amanda just gave me a face palm in the chat. Why did I get a face palm
Yeah,
for?
I don't know.
Must have been something I said.
Oh, it's
Anyway,
I know, right? Well, probably when I was doing the dog voices. I don't know. It sure sucks for him. It seems odd to make content out of something. Yeah,
Huh.
I think he's making content just to make content. I mean, let's be honest. If it gets views, it gets views, and people watch it.
Oh,
The
Josh
dog- they love the dog voice.
Gersten. I can email you wisdom panel codes. I get them daily.
I don't want wisdom panel.
Oh, yeah, we did the last one we did with Aspen was wisdom panel, and it wasn't. We're gonna try a new one.
Embark.
So, the dog voice. Oh yeah, yeah, your dog voice. Anyway, so yeah, that's the thing is that I think Darren does a great job just entertaining, getting people to actually watch the stuff, getting
Yeah.
them interested in stuff. And
Agreed.
JR Pro Shop's along the same way. Now, if you want just straight up technical, I would probably be more the kind of drier, straight up technical, less the entertainment. But
Yeah.
again, I'm trying to go back to some of the stuff because I got so repetitive and so stupid with a bunch of stuff. I was just trying to crank out a bunch of cookie cutter stuff and.
Just JR Pro Shop or JR Pro Shop's not JR Raymond. FYI.
No,
Carry on.
yeah.
Carry on.
J.R. Raymond's a whole different animal.
Carry on. Sorry, I wasn't trying to interrupt you.
So,
There.
yeah.
I wanted people to know.
Yeah,
that
J.R. Pro
it's
Shop's a different
Yeah,
thing.
It's a totally different thing.
Jordan Jung is.
Yeah.
Jordan Jung is probably.
Jordan Jung.
Yeah, his J.R. Pro Shop.
Oh, I didn't realize that was his
Yeah,
name. I just know it was
that's
JR.
Jordan Jung. He's probably the best combination of tech, information, and entertainment out there, period. Darren kind of goes more the Twitch gaming kind of entertainment direction, the slick editing and whatever else. And he's got the best production values anybody else out there.
It's his editor.
Jordan is kind of right in the middle between like me and Darren Tang. He gives you a bunch of really good information. The way that he structures stuff. And then Luis Napoles is coming up too, and he's kind of in that zone
He's
too.
good in
He's
there.
only been doing it for a year, so he's kind of finding his footing still and figuring out which direction works best for him,
Yep.
and so he's still in that kind of learning process.
Yeah. Brad and Kyle have not fallen off. They've taken a step back for a little bit.
Yeah, and they're focusing more on their
Coaching stuff.
their coaching membership and whatever, and that takes up a lot of time, even for guys that quote unquote don't have a job.
Yep.
I mean, just what I do is 40 hours a week. And so what those guys do is still 60, 70
Well, for a
hours
while,
week.
Flanagan was doing their
Yeah,
stuff.
Flanagan was helping, but
Flanagan was doing a lot of their editing, but he's he's got so many hats that guy does now. He
Yeah.
works for Buller X.
Jungo.
He works for Buller X now. Flanagan does. I mean, he still runs his inside bowling streams.
Mm-hmm.
he does. I think he does. He said the other day on the stream, the holiday double stream, he's doing all the t-shirt stuff out of his house now.
Yeah.
Yeah, everything. You order a shirt, he's doing it out of his house.
Yeah, I mean, you kind of have to do that because it's one of those things.
I guess
like,
you maximize profit that way, right?
yeah.
I mean, I get it.
Yeah, Tang was whining that most of his viewers are non-subscribers fishing for likes. Well, it's most of my viewers are non-subscribers. It's kind of funny how few people actually subscribe. They'll just watch and catch it and whatever else. But I think 65% of my views are non-subscribers.
I know that feeling.
They'll watch the video. Like you'll get.
You get thumbs up, thanks, I like it.
And so that's the thing that's what's really funny is now that there's so many people. Storm's putting out videos that I think are great. I like watching ball reaction, and from several different people, I don't need to hear somebody talk. And so I understand that me talking a lot is helpful, but at the same time, I like watching like Casey Murphy's stuff where he just puts a sentence up there on the screen every once in a while saying, "Hey, this is what this feels like for me."
Yep.
Otherwise, just watch the ball reaction, develop your eye, work on stuff. Don't rely on somebody to tell you what the ball is doing because you can't see what it's doing. And so I appreciate the Storm Ways videos a lot. They're really well made. I think that they're really good. And aside from everybody thinking, okay, well, it's a company video, and so nobody says anything, and they just show nothing but strikes and whatever else. I really appreciate them. I think they're great.
I don't show all strikes.
But I like watching different things. Shota, when I showed his video for the Super Idol, he throws the ball. Oh.
Shota. Oh yes.
Shota Kawazoe. Yeah, the little. He's kind of the shorter, rounder guy that's been on a few of the PBA telecasts.
Yeah, because I know.
Whoa, it's so great.
Well, see what back to like Tang, for example. What he does great though is he gets revenue off of like his Twitch. His Twitch is big.
Oh yeah.
His Twitch is.
We got an Anthony Lockwood sighting.
Ooh, how about the old Bowler Smart videos? Overuse the word.
Continuous. Yeah, everything's continuous. Yeah.
There you are.
I don't understand any Asian languages at all. Well, it's kind of funny because I feel like such an idiot whenever I walk into, because me and my former traveling partner from my day job, he was a vegan, and so the easiest place for us to go for lunch every day was just to find a Mexican restaurant because he could get vegetarian fajitas, just have him leave the cheese off.
I mean, I wouldn't complain.
And so I mean, it's just Mexican restaurant every day for lunch, and there's these mostly Mexican people that are fluent in both languages, and I'm sitting there like. It's always funny to me when people leave comments and say, well, I'm from Germany or I'm from wherever else, excuse my poor English. I'm like, I can understand you a whole lot better. You speak much better English than people who have it as a first and only language.
Yeah.
So I just feel like such an idiot when they're talking to me in English and then they turn around and there's some, Mexican Spanish chatter and then they go back to speaking English and I'm like.
They just go spew it off like just flowing off, and they come back to you like,
"I'm gonna do the lunch chimichanga."
Would you like another margarita?
Yeah. That's like I saw. They have the TikTok kind of shares on Facebook or whatever, and the reels and whatever. And some guy was saying, "Hey, you like a tortilla?"
Would you like a tortilla?
And it's like, why do you guys say it like that? Tortilla. It's like, you want a tortilla or whatever, and then he's like, tortilla, tortilla.
You gotta roll those R's.
Yeah,
it's funny.
Tortilla.
It's funny you're saying about rolling the R's because we went to Mexican for dinner last night, and Raylan goes, "I want a Sprite." What is it? Sprite.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh my gosh, kid, are you rolling your R's right now?
I'm trying to do that whenever I sing along to like Rammstein or something.
Yeah, Rammstein. Yeah.
Yeah, they roll the R. I mean,
Amanda flat out cannot roll an R. She just can't do it. I love you. I'm sorry.
Yeah, Till. I'm getting there. I didn't used to be able to do it.
I can do it, and I never taught Raylan how to do it. It just I don't know if it's just like a.
I can do it really well.
Yeah, she literally goes, "I want a Sprite."
Rabbit trails abounding.
Yeah, sorry.
Anyway,
about Mexican food.
Urethane.
Oh yeah, was that, or did you want to hit anything else in there? Did I miss anything, Angel?
No, I think we're good. Yeah.
Urethane, please. Let's go ahead and clear the air. That's not for dry lanes. Did I miss something in the chat? Did I?
I'm still catching up.
No,
honestly.
I was
It's
thinking,
pretty much banter back and forth. You're doing good.
why are you throwing the urethane ball?
Oh, don't start that. Don't start that, because then I have to use the voice.
Mm-hmm.
Don't do it.
I think on your in-depth pitch black, you actually broke down. Yes, you can use urethane for this, but it's not the sole purpose. It's for this. I think it was the
Yeah, people don't understand that you don't use urethane for dry lanes. You can use urethane on dry lanes because it's so controllable, and that's where people get the misconception. Urethane is for dry lanes because it doesn't turn sideways.
Correct.
But it's not. It's for heavy volumes up front because urethane is more aggressive. Urethane is stronger and earlier than a proton physics, than that new Trident, than a Jackal Ghost, than anything. It hooks so early, and then most of them are built with very little flare, higher RGs and very little flare.
Yeah.
Because you want them rolling over the same oil track all the way down. Like, you want them to hook early and then control the rest of the lane.
Correct.
And so people will throw them on dry lanes because they hook early and then they just kind of fade the rest of the way down the lane.
Let's tell them what kind of patterns that's really used for. Like short, flat.
Sydney, Wolf,
Yeah, short, flat patterns.
Bear, whatever.
It's kind of what we bowled on in Wichita.
Yeah, yeah.
What
I don't even-
number of length would you
30,
flip from reactive to
39 or less.
Yeah, 39 or less most of the time. Now, on the left side, you can use it on anything. Because
You can use it on 15 foot.
sometimes you just
can use
need,
it on 45.
15 or 50. You just need to control shape.
Well, I'm thinking when you're looking at the patterns, though, when you see 40 or longer, typically you would not put urethane in.
No, 40 or longer, I definitely
That's what
wouldn't.
I'm saying.
Yeah.
Where is your boundary line? For
Definitely 39 or less. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah, 39 is a pretty nice distance because any shorter than that, you're going to be dealing with too much shape most of the time. And so that's when you want to start thinking about stuff that controls the back end of the lane more.
Right.
However, if you're on a house shot, you're still going to want to be in reactive stuff. Urethane at some point can kind of be a crutch, but at the same time, I mean, if you have higher volume and it's flatter and it's shorter, that's where urethane is. That's what it's designed for. That's what it's best on. That's when most people are going to use. It's just like a Nationals team pattern that's normally 38 feet, give or take a foot, 27, 28 mils, and almost flat. That is the most ideal situation, like when we went to Reno a couple of years ago in 2019. And we went to the team practice session with me and Chaz and Dallas and Connor and all the
Bruce and all them, right?
Quentin and Bruce and whatever else. And we tried a couple different things on each. We tried one lane where we threw nothing but urethane kind of at the head pin, kind of like straight up 12, and tried to build ourselves some hold. And then on the other lane, we used big chewy stuff to try to burn up the track. And universally, the burning the track or giving us more mist room to the right worked out best in the team practice session. However, once we got onto team, it was very, very obvious that everybody that had urethane was going to use urethane. I actually took a 5-inch Pindown IQ tour at so it was reactive urethane, basically, to just kind of throw down the side.
Oh, yeah.
The 8 of us that had urethane, or me and Ramsden were the only two. Well, no, Ramsden had a purple hammer.
Old Ram.
Yeah, me and there was one other person that didn't have urethane. But everybody that brought urethane was throwing urethane. And this is before I switched.
Klaus.
Yeah, Cloud. Well, Ryan didn't go with us a couple of years ago. He went with us last year, but he wasn't with us the previous year.
Oh, you're talking
Ryan and Spencer were new ads for this year
Spencer,
because Chris and somebody else dropped out.
Yeah, that's right.
I
was thinking you were talking about this year.
I had no desire to go this last year.
But yeah,
should have. They were soft. Go ahead. Sorry.
But yeah, the two of us that have that didn't have urethane were the only two not using urethane because we had to use it. Yeah. Anthony, the purple hammer on the double and singles at the U.S. or at the Open Championships, 44 feet. Yeah, I mean,
if it
What
you
was that,
can.
New York?
Yeah. So it was Syracuse, I think, in
Syracuse,
2017
yeah.
or 2018.
See, that's the thing too, though. That's
Or it was 42 or 43
You
feet.
can use urethane even on the right side of the lane. You can use urethane
Well,
in a longer pattern. It's just not the play very often.
Anthony hadn't been there since Syracuse,
And the other thing, you had made the comment.
and he
is
kind of dumps on
urethane-
it too. So
You made the comment of urethane, how the lack of flare is actually what the issue is.
yeah, and that's the other thing is that people are asking, well with the UC3, can I still use it on a house shot? It's like, yes, it flares.
Right.
The big thing with urethane is that typically it doesn't flare. Like you're going to have the same problem with a tropical surge as you will with urethane, because like a pitch black is an 021 or 022 diff. The Missile, what are you doing?
Getting comfy.
It's a memory foam mat. You don't need to scratch it, sweetie. Mistle, come here.
So
Come here.
you're kind of getting into it. What is the why do people not like? Why do bowlers? Okay, let me rephrase that. Why do bowlers not like people grabbing urethane on a house shot?
Because it typically does not flare, and so it creates carry down. So what it does is when you have a low flaring ball with a low differential, the differential is the difference between the vertical height and the horizontal width. So this growler has a pretty high differential because it's a whole lot taller than it is wide. And so once you turn that on its side, then you have a bunch of wobble, or you have instability, which creates the differential, which creates the flare. If you have a ball that does not flare, that's basically kind of rounder or more compact, if you have something that doesn't flare, the ball rolls over the same oil tracks every single rotation. And so once it gets to the end of the lane, it's picked up a bunch of oil on the way down the lane.
Yeah.
And so it's rolling over those same oil tracks. It just deposits all that oil at the end of the lane. So it doesn't matter whether you're throwing a tropical surge or a pitch black.
Right.
They're going to carry down the same. Because even balls that absorb oil or have higher absorption rates, you can't absorb all the oil on the ball between 39 feet and 40 feet at the end of the pattern. It doesn't work like that.
Wipe
Every
those
every
urethane
single
balls
ball, even the fastest absorbing ball on the planet that they could ever create, will still have oil on it when it gets back in the ball return.
Make sure you wipe those off when they come back.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Chamois.
Chamois those up.
Chamois is the best.
Exactly. Wipe those balls off because
Yeah.
nothing drives me nuts more than watching somebody that throws urethane or something that comes back and they do not wipe it off. I'm like, oh my gosh, it just
And some people want it
triggers me.
that way.
Nope.
Like Russ Wilson doesn't towel anything off ever.
It triggers me. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I don't know why. It just does.
But you leave oil on the ball, and so you don't burn your heads and your mids up so fast.
That's true. That is very true.
But the way where I hold my ring finger, or where I hold my index finger on both hands, and my track is so high that my index finger will be right in the middle of my frickin' track, and so I get oil all over my finger, and it slips and whatever else. So I've got to towel it off. Plus,
I did so just because I'm a ding dong. And I say 39 or less. I did throw urethane at Swiss Trios 2 years ago, where I think we were 41 foot, 42 foot. That's because the middles, or everything in the middle, was so flippy that I was able to grab. At that time, it was pitch black. I wasn't with Motive at the time.
Yeah. I used a fast pitch.
Yeah,
the whole.
well, you're
frickin-
left-handed.
Yeah. I'm using urethane. That's going to be my gripe.
But I was able to.
I had to get you another fast pitch. You really like that.
Yeah, I was able to just get on top of it and stay there, and it looked pretty good. Jihad's Odyssey, what do you think? I haven't thrown it yet.
Yeah, we're
gonna drill today.
we're gonna drill it today after the stream.
I had it on here at Beef. I don't know if you've been in the stream the whole time. I actually had it up on the counter here a little bit ago. Sure, close enough to
Sure,
Sammy.
close enough to chamois.
I mean, that works.
Sure.
Yeah. Swiss 2020 was 39. Not sure if that's the year you're talking about. Yeah, I guess that was.
Oh, yeah, I don't know.
Maybe it was.
Yeah,
Maybe it was
most
39
of
feet.
the time they do Sunset Strip or.
Does Jason not have a chamois?
Jason, do you need a
Jason
chamois,
needs
dude?
a chamois.
Do you need a chamois? I'll give you a chamois if you need a chamois. Please
Yeah.
stop. Your wife will thank you for
tongue
stopping
twister.
using your
Back
shirt.
in the early 80s when urethane first came out, it
We're
was
gonna
used
use a
on
chamois for
oil.
Katie.
That's the thing. Urethane more or less replaced rubber, plastic, and polyester. Urethane was everybody used urethane ball. Back in that time you had two choices: the black urethane ball or the black urethane ball.
I thought they had the blue one back then.
No, not yet. The blue hammer was late '80s, I believe.
Oh, okay.
Late '80s, early '90s. And blue hammer, burgundy hammer, whatever. As soon as the
So it was the black. Which one came next? Was it the blue, then the burgundy?
I think the black one was.
I
don't know. I don't know on the blue and the burgundy and whatever else, but yeah, the first urethane ball was.
My
black.
dad
They were
Woody
all
actually
black.
had one of those.
Rubber balls.
Cool with chamois is his shirt.
Yeah.
That's the
yeah.
best comment ever.
Yeah.
Oh, Jason. 2020 was 39. I'll bet my bank. I'm pretty sure it was over 39.
That's
39 was
nice.
this year. No, we went 38.
Where's my James beer?
You
I
need
need
coffee?
James beer.
You want
No.
coffee? That's all he drinks.
No, I've got the ones that we stopped at Barrel House and got the Gosa that's like canoe trip or whatever.
Yeah.
Oh.
What is this? Again, like what is
Pig. She short circuits every once in a while.
Like it's twice today.
She's internally
You're not intimidating.
she's internally confused, and
No.
Storm is standing here.
Storm
She
is
forgets to be
massively
a
helping
chicken.
her.
She forgets to be a chicken every once in a while.
No, Storm is really helping. her.
Oh yes, Piglet. Oh my gosh, Pig. Oh my gosh, Pig. Yep.
Sorry, I'm sitting here petting dogs.
Yeah. And the one that's elusive. Aspen Piggy, we've had her for 4 years, and she was so damaged when we got her that she's still kind of skittish and scared and whatever else. But she's weird.
she like never comes to me, and all of a sudden
4 years, yeah,
twice.
4 years
Say,
later.
Amanda's probably jealous right now because all she wants to do is pet her when she comes over.
I know.
Aspen continues
She's such a
to
good
grow
girl.
and change and whatever. We have her for 4 years,
Good
and she
girl.
still does stuff every day that surprises us. Storm has always been Storm from day one. Missile has gotten better. It only took her like a year and a half.
Oh yeah.
And now she's kind of social. Aspen being social with people is weird.
She's a good girl. Yeah. Are you going?
So
sorry, 2020 was
Anyway.
Middle Road V1, 30. Okay, yeah,
That's
that's
nice.
right. It's okay. Well, it's still urethane was in
Row,
place, so
row,
39
row,
was
row
definitely.
gently down.
So my rule stayed in play then. I could have sworn it was over there. Yeah,
hmm
Mister.
yeah.
45 minutes left.
With your
Do you need your
bends.
canoe? Okay. You had a bone to pick.
Bends and your deer, yeah.
What's your bone?
So the urethane thing actually kind of goes into my bone to pick.
Okay.
And I know everybody is really sick. I know everybody's sick of me talking about this, but the lefty versus righty thing.
Oh, we need Trevor.
Yeah. The thing is
If
it's
you
really
have not thrown on both sides, shut your face.
well, and the thing is it's really fascinating for me because I bowled 15 years on the right side. This is year number 6 total on the left side. And as I get better and better, it continues to surprise me how different both sides are. Because as people have pointed out, it's the same pattern, it's the same lane, it's whatever else, and so it's hard to explain to people that don't understand how different the games actually are. And so you can't really compare them, and you can't say one side's easier, one side's harder, because we saw the same thing. We saw it at Belton in 2 days. The lefties couldn't sniff anything on Saturday. Trevor had one of the best lefties you've never heard about. Had to go plus 68 the last game to get to plus 5 for 6 games total. Packy,
I know he snapped me off because of that.
Packy that you have heard of, Packy Hanrahan, had to go. He went plus 70 the last 2 games to get to plus 30. The cut to the top 4 was plus 150. I mean, no lefty got anywhere close to even Brandon Carlson.
Yeah.
Who is not phased by Belton.
Uh-huh.
Brandon Carlson went like plus 20. Normally he destroys that place.
He's not phased by
period.
Belton because of how it's just his rev rate
Yeah, he throws the ball hard.
Yeah.
He has a big rev rate, and he lofts it to the arrows.
every time.
So yeah, I mean, his ball didn't see the first 30 feet of the lane. And so but we got to the pattern that was a little bit softer on Sunday, and then all of a sudden, Packy and Devin finished second, and did Trevor and
Jesse won.
Yeah, Trevor and Jesse won.
They were on my pair.
And
Yeah.
Packy and I still had no luck. I couldn't carry anything. I was crying and whining and throwing stuff, and
I still love you. It's okay.
but anyway.
You're the only one.
So I made a point, or I made a post on Facebook the other day
well, there it is.
saying, you know what, I'm gonna have to give up and just do the lefty thing, because when I started again last year, the idea was hit the pocket, keep
Right.
it simple. just pick up easy spares. Don't make it any more complicated than it has to be. And so then I got to the point where the strength got there, the coordination got there. I'm like, okay, well, I can start executing shots now. I don't just have to kind of like fling it or
Right.
side sling it or whatever I was doing right up second, third arrow, whatever. I can actually start executing shots now. And then I just fell off a cliff, fell off the planet. I was shooting every week at Royal Crest from January 1st to the end of March. I walked in there, and if it wasn't 700, I was disappointed. I shot
Last season, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Last season, I shot 2 or 3 790s. I had 750s, 760s, whatever else. I just walked in thinking 750 every single week, and actually the 790s were 800s that I just blew. That I needed the first ball in the 10th on all of them, and tug the crap out of it. So I could have struck out for 820 every single time.
Yeah.
And shot 790 because I just didn't get the first one in the 10th. But so the lefty thing, the more I get into it, the more, and I've been halfway decent lefty before, but I'll bowl for like 2 years. It was always an excuse to just kind of like, well, I'm giving my right shoulder a couple years off, so I'll bowl for a couple years lefty. I wasn't ever that good about it. I wasn't ever that good at it. I wasn't intending on staying lefty, and so I didn't really pay that much. I just kind of bowled and whatever. I'm just giving my shoulder a couple years off. Now this switch was kind of like I've done the right thing. I spent way too many years on it. I've dumped way too much time into it. It's not going to happen. And so the switch this time was for good. Period. I'm just going to be a lefty. And so now I'm trying to be a lefty. I'm trying to be a competitive lefty, and it is really, really, I think it's especially harder for me because I have a righty brain on the left side of the lane.
But the left side in general is just different. Like, it just plays so much different.
And the best way that I can explain it, and I put this post up on Facebook, and what really irritated me was that I'm fascinated by it. Like, I thought, well, I can mirror a lot of the stuff. I might have to adjust layouts, my game's a little different, and whatever else, and I know that, it's right side's a game of transition, the left side transition doesn't really happen, so I'm going to have to adjust to that. But I didn't understand how deep the difference was, and so I put a post on there. It fascinates me, and so I'm just wanting to share that with everybody else that see lefties throw nothing but urethane and whatever else. And so I'm just thinking, well, it's like, okay, well, I get it now. But I put the post out, and people are, oh my God, another lefty whine. And I even had a couple people that said, it's like, well, you're one of the few staffers on the planet that's not like a staffer shill and selling stuff and lying to people. Don't start lying to people now. It's like, well, it's the same pattern, it's the same lane.
Time out. What?
Yeah, I had several, but not just one. It was several people told me I was flat out lying.
I'm not gonna lie to you. I saw some comments on that really pissed me off.
Well, and see that's the thing is I just put something on there. I'm like, look, I'm just gonna give up and do the lefty thing because the trying to actually execute and play the righty game on the left side doesn't
even if you go
work.
to Kegel's website and you look at some of the patterns, you can visually see that they are different.
That's the other thing, as I said, they have and people said, well, asymmetric patterns aren't even legal. You're just straight up lying to people now. It's the same lane, it's the same pattern. Stop lying to people.
You can go to Kegel's website and see them.
People just need to be smarter.
So yeah, the best way.
Not talking about anybody here. Sorry.
Yeah.
Carry on.
The way that I figured out how to explain it is that the right side of the lane gets a whole lot more traffic than the left side. So anything that gets more traffic, there's going to be more wear.
The track's definitely more worn on the right side than is the left.
So if you take two balls, say that you took two Jackal Ghosts,
okay,
you drilled them exactly the same.
Okay.
You threw one for 100 games.
Okay.
And you threw one for 10 games.
Okay.
And then you took them back to the same surface.
Okay.
Are they the same ball?
No.
Yeah, and even motive covers hold up better than any other covers out there.
100% no. That's why I don't like resurfacing.
Yeah.
100%.
But that's the exact same as the left side of the lane, which there's, we bowled the top 36 or whatever. Yeah. There was, 4 or 5 lefties in the building, 31, 32 righties, whatever else. There are 8 to 10 times the number of righties that there are lefties. And especially the older the surface gets. Or if I took like a phase 2, or if I took 2 phase 2s, drilled them identical, 100 games on one, 10 games on the other. And this, again, is I can tell somebody this in the chat. if you take 2 phase 2s,
Okay.
drill them identical, for one for 100 games, one for 10 games, especially James will get this, and then took them back to the same surface, they're not the same ball. And people are
Right.
trying to tell me it's like, well, it's the same ball at the same surface. They have to react identically. You're just lying to people. It's like, well, no, because the right side of the lane, especially the older the surface gets so much more wear. There's a track built in. There is stabilization and friction
Right.
on the right side in the track area that just doesn't exist on the left side.
I would
so-
actually comment and encourage, if you've not done a lane certification, go do one and you can see.
That's the other thing.
Yep.
And so even then, especially if we get on lane surfaces that are 20, 30 years old, it's like a 200 game.
Yeah.
It's like a 200 game phase 2 versus a 20 game phase 2. Like it's just not remotely in the same stratosphere. And I tagged and
Whoa.
I did have some kind of misconception. I posted on there. I said something about, or Packy got on there and posted something, and then I responded something to somebody else, and Packy, I said, well, it's just so boring. It's just the same thing over and over again. I'm like, and then Packy said, well, it's like, well, no, that's not exactly it. And then I said, well, how many? I mean, like Packy's good. Like I said, how often do you actually get to use all your tricks? How often do you find yourself trying this and trying that and tweaking your hand positions and whatever else, because you just kind of line up, especially if it's tough, you line up with urethane and you throw it at second or third arrow. Like, you're just kind of locked in and kind of forced to having to do a certain thing.
Right.
And he came to me on Saturday when the top 36 when we were all sucking, and he just kind of, he was kind of shooting the breeze with Trevor, and they were complaining about it because Trevor, I started off plus 70 somehow, and then as soon as I started throwing it good, we hit a couple bad pairs. When Trevor shoots 150, 160 back to back, they're just bad pairs, and it's just not gonna happen.
We're all blowing for
me.
second
He's
next
so
week
much
because
so
of
much
that.
better than I am that it's just not. If he's not doing well, it's just not gonna happen.
Who,
Yeah,
Trevor?
I'm just rambling.
FYI that Trevor and Packy are bowling together next Sunday
Oh god.
in doubles at Royal Crest.
Yeah.
We're all bowling for second.
Yeah.
Trevor's
literally.
going to win his third
But-
doubles in a row. It's going to happen.
Yeah. It's just.
It's going to happen. I mean,
But they
might
were
as
kind
well-
of shooting the breeze, and I mentioned something to Packy. I said, it's like, well, just cry about it on Facebook. That works for me. And he was kind of chuckled. He walked away. He was like, by the way, I've used about 50 different tricks today. And so that's when it hit me. It's like, well, on the right side, it's a game of transition. The lanes start off, and you always play for transit. You try to find the righty game is you try to find where the most area is at, and then you play for transition. You have to watch for transition. You have to adjust to it. You have to be, okay, we're in an 8-game block. I'm going to bring these balls for the fresh. I'm going to bowl down to these. I need this different shape, or this ball plays better from deep. This ball plays better from straight. I'm going to take a few options, and it's transition. These idiots, the pair in front of us are throwing urethane, so we've got to adjust to that, which goes back to the urethane thing again. Because on Sunday we were following idiots on both sides of the lane. I think it was Saturday, or no, I mean it was both days actually. It's like
Saturday was bad.
Saturday was bad.
There was a couple pairs that you hit on the right side that you could tell the idiots that were throwing urethane
that's the
that
thing.
have no business.
we had
even picking that ball up.
we had 2 lefties in front of us. There were 2 pairs in front of us.
I can see urethane in play on the left side though.
But we had 2 lefties in front of us. It took us a couple games to catch up with them, but we had kind of the same thing. We hit a couple bad pairs. We hit a couple pairs where people were doing dumb things in front of us. So, but that Facebook post really pissed me off because I'm like, well, I'm just trying to talk. I wasn't trying to say it was like I'm complaining or like it's difficult. I think it's more difficult for me because I have a righty brain coming to the left side and it just doesn't work. But people have grown up on the left side.
Yeah.
It's obviously a whole, that's what they do.
Right.
I'm coming from one side to the other, and so it changes things. And people just instantly flew off the handle and were telling me I was lying about stuff and whatever else, and I'm like, okay, well this is irritating.
See, that's where you're a lot different than me. I wouldn't have just thrown that out there on Facebook.
Yeah,
because
yeah.
you open the doors. Everybody says, "Oh, come on in."
He is more like the researcher type.
Oh, I know. Yeah,
Then it's just like, oh, I discovered this. I'm going to share because there's other people that will ask him constantly.
Yeah.
Righty versus lefty. What do you see? What do you notice? So he shares it, and then people just bash on it.
I just
no.
It was like I saw that post and I'm gonna go, oh crap, here it comes. Here come the righties. Here come the lefties. It's gonna be like.
It was just he wanted to share what he's been experiencing.
We do need to hit the chat a little longer, but I have one more thing I want to touch on with you on misconceptions. We kind of touched a little bit on it when we were talking about resurfacing.
Yeah, I'll finish up my.
Yeah, finish your point.
Oh, here it goes.
Ranting.
Here comes the rant. Sorry.
But
no, it's rap.
yeah, but it's just it's so much different than you would ever expect or think. I've got to do different things with layouts. I've got to do different things with lane play. I've got to think. Well, everything. I don't have a track, so there's no. When you don't have a track, you don't understand the lane the ball reaction stabilization that you have in the mid lane. Because when you miss inside a little bit, it grabs and it kind of blends it out. If you miss outside, well, it'll kind of recover a little bit. On the left side, the dry is dry and the wet is wet. And so that's why you see so many lefties throwing urethane all the time, because they're trying to both create a track and create blend down lane that we don't naturally have. So the ball goes a whole lot longer, a whole lot easier on the left side of the lane, and then it turns sideways because there's just a ridiculous abundance of shape. And I used to watch the lefties on the right side and think, God, it'd be nice to just be Jacob Buttriff and play third arrow with a black hammer and just literally chuck it, shove it, just ram it right into the spot, and then watch it stand up and turn sideways. That would be awesome. But you don't understand that there's zero miss room in the middle, and that's what I struggled with, especially on Sunday, where it's just like, if I don't hit the 5 board, it doesn't matter. My shot quality doesn't matter. If I don't hit 5, it's through the nose or it's a washout. If I hit 4, it's a washout. If I hit 6, it's going through the nose.
I have a good analogy, though. So bowling the left side versus the right side is basically going to a golf course. You and I are going to the golf course together. Mm-hmm. Same golf course, but I'm playing on the golf course we're at. You're playing on a totally different one.
Yeah, yeah.
It's exactly what it is.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
Yeah.
And that's because there's so many different things, because when you start on both sides of the lane,
will get that.
Normally it's a little different to start off with to begin with. That's why they've built some asymmetric patterns, because at some point the lefties are either going to have a big advantage or they're going to have a big disadvantage.
Yeah.
There's no way to compare between the two. The lefties are either going to obliterate the field or they're not going to factor.
Correct.
If you have days where things are kind of even and kind of whatever else, there's going to be days where Packy, Brandon Carlson, and Trevor are going to be in the top 5, top 10, period. Yeah. And then there's days like Saturday where the high lefty is plus 30.
And they're going to be in the middle or the bottom.
And we're not going to make any money.
It's a lot like the PBA Tour.
So, yeah, there's no way to balance, make it equal, even, whatever else.
A few people in the chat have probably bowled a brand new surface.
And
so if you hold on a brand new surface ever in your life,
it sucks.
And you think about like the first couple years of it, that's kind of the lefty life for 20 years.
Yeah. And so my biggest thing is I just kind of chucked it down the side again when I started. I just kind of chucked it down the side. It worked really well. Now that I'm actually trying to execute shots and roll the ball and control shapes and whatever, it's wretched. Because there is a ridiculous, and I don't know how to explain it any better than when you watch somebody like Jesper, or when you watch the lefties bowl on tour, they throw it 1,000,000 miles an hour and they chuck it straight into the spot. The easiest way to score on the left side is to try to leave a flat 10 pin on the flattest 10 pin you've ever left on the right side. Say that you've lined up with like a Jackal Ghost, move like 2 or 3 boards left and throw it directly at the 6 pin. You are going to blow through the spot. It's going to be a 2-8-10 or the flattest 10 pin or the 8.
You say the ball is either going to puke and roll out, or it's just going to flat 10. That's all.
Yeah, if you do that on the left side, it will stop and turn sideways and throw pins everywhere.
Huh. Okay.
So when I actually try to slow roll the ball or put a nice roll on it, that's when I normally leave. Like Thursday night, I threw maybe 3 or 4 good shots. Friday night, I threw maybe 3 or 4 bad shots. I threw a ton of amazing shots on Friday because Tobias had told me, he's like, you know what, just throw a comfortable shot. When we watch you on the reviews, once you get into the third, fourth arrow, whatever, it looks like you just kind of slow roll it, comes off your
Yeah, I
hand a
saw
lot
this
better,
conversation,
whatever
yeah.
else. And so I did that on Friday. And there were so many shots where if I hit the 5 board, I was throwing a few different balls. If I hit 5, it was a great shot. There were so many times where I got it in a little bit, and I thought, well, that'll push. And like, no, it was a big 4. Like I'd hit 6 or 7, and it's just big 4, Greek church, whatever else. And I'm like, on the right side, you tug at a few boards. However, on the left side, if you hit what you're aiming at, carry is through the roof better.
Some things
Like-
have also changed there though recently.
Yeah.
They got problems with the brush.
But
so it's,
I used to on the right side, I used to leave. I don't know. Normally, you leave 10 pins. You just leave 10 pins.
Yeah.
On the left side of the lane, there's some nights I don't leave any 7 pins because there's enough shape to where it kicks it out somehow. I'll leave a 7 pin or a blower 8, drive by 8 or something else. 7 pins just don't happen very
it's the
often.
same way on the right side. I've gone nights there where I don't leave any tens.
Yeah. But normally there's so much shape on the left side that you can just chuck it into the friction and watch it turn sideways. And that's amazing to execute the perfect shot and know it's going to strike instead of when you throw most of the time when you throw a really good shot on the right side, you wrap 10 or you flat 10 or something like, well, I didn't count on throwing it that good. But if you throw it amazing on the left side, you're going to carry the vast majority of the time. It's just you have to throw it amazing more often than not.
There's a good question here for you that I want you to hit, and it's about the left side. That's from Bob LeBeau. I hope I said that right, Bob. Switching from right to left, did being right-eye dominant affect your targeting? Got a son struggling to hit his mark.
Actually, I am the opposite way. I see the lane better on the left side than I do on the right, and so that helped me a lot initially. Yeah, and what Jason said, it's all perception. When it's tough for righties, it affects 80% of the field. Like, literally, yeah. And so that's the thing. Like, when it's easy for lefties, or especially on a house shot, for good lefties, so for somebody like Trevor, at Royal Crest, you're going to lose. You're just going to lose. Or like when the Gage, when we were at Gage in the doubles tournament, and he bowled with Dylan.
Oh, yeah.
He aced 95% of his shots all day and averaged 245 or 250, and they ran away with
You
that.
are not going to win. When the lefties
No.
have it, you're not going to win.
Because he averaged 245 or 250 the entire day. They won by 70 pins or 100 pins or something. It was eight games, and they obliterated the field. The rest of the field had no chance, and it was because of Trevor mostly. I mean, Dylan stayed in there. He shot his 250s and 260s, but at some certain point, the righties run into transition. You get to a point where you just there's nothing there for you to shoot at.
It's kind of like when the lefties we're pulling on something tough and they can throw purple hammers.
Yeah.
You're not going to win.
Well, and that's
Swiss trios.
Well, and that's the other thing too, because
Yeah.
Packy and Kevin were up there too on that doubles tournament.
Yes.
Because they threw purple hammers all day, and they were playing third or fourth arrow, chucking a urethane ball, a purple hammer notwithstanding, chucking a urethane ball at the 5 board, and it was turning sideways.
But you're not going to the guys on the right side aren't going to beat that.
You're not. And that's the thing is I have never at any point said that the left side is tougher than the right side. It is so different you can't compare them. But when the lefties have a look, you're going to get destroyed. And when you don't have a look like Belton most of the time, the righties are going to have it, and the lefty, there's just nothing you can do. And
yeah.
Packy has told me, he's like, well, that's when the tricks come in. That's when you have to use all those tricks to find something. And he's like, you can whine about it, you can complain about it, you can say left, or you can say righties, you can say tug room, you can say whatever else. But he's like, you're bowling the same tournament. Yeah, you're bowling, you've got different situations, but you can either whine and cry about it, or you can figure out what you're going to do about it. And there's been, I don't know how many times at Belton where Packy is, again, that one where they started and Tony Resnick shot 300 or 299 or whatever, and Dylan shot 297.
They're bowling right next to me.
Yeah. So we started that tournament. Yeah. The low righty score on there was 5 or 6 people on that pair.
Like 240.
Yeah, the low righty score was 240 or 250. Trevor shot 220 and Packy shot 180 on the house shot at Belton.
It's Aaron's.
Yeah. So it's
But that house shot has changed since then too, though. It's kind of weird.
yeah.
Like we bowled on
That was
Thanksgiving.
the old machine.
We bowled on Thanksgiving Eve, and they hooked. It reminded me, Frank, if you're in here, I'm sorry. It reminded me of freaking Ward Parkway.
Yeah.
I'm serious.
So I mean,
That's how much the
anyway,
middle's hook.
to kind of recap, the sides of the lane are completely different. The games play because you play transition on the right side. The left side doesn't. So on something tougher, it'll open up on the right side.
Yeah.
But then it'll go to crap, or if you have idiots in front of you or whatever else.
You haven't even got into transition yet, when righties get forced into your side of the lane, and they're lay down point in the front.
Yeah. So our head, we have no heads, and then we have skid for the next 30 feet, and then we have shape for days, and
So you bowl an 8-game block, righties transition. Say we're bowling on a house shot, an 8-game block. Righties, what are they going to do? They're going to go left.
Yeah.
And when they get left, where do you think they're going to lay the ball down? They're going to lay the ball down in a lefty's.
yeah. So then we have hooks,
Well, and on
hook, skid,
Sunday,
hook.
There was a chick that she was a righty backup bowler.
Oh heck
throwing
no!
urethane on his line.
Oh, I'd have been fried. I'd have said you need to leave.
But that's the thing about
I'm sorry.
when lefties throw urethane, it's amazing because it settles down the shape. So urethane on the right side is just death. It's murder. It's whatever else. Urethane on the left side, it's like, oh my god, I have one board of hold. I can hit the 6th board and it doesn't turn side. I can hit the 6th board and not leave a Greek church or a big 4. But again, there's if I can, and I.
But luckily, with you having a righty brain, you could actually move right and kind of swing it a little more. Most lefties don't have.
Well, and the lefty two-handers now are starting to get it, like Packy, Kevin, and I tagged Packy and Spencer Robarge in a post the other day, and he sent me something. Spencer sent me something. I was like, "What am I a genius about?" But it's just when I was frying so hard at Swiss trios, and he came through, and he just was like, "Hey, how you doing?" Whatever else, and he just threw a couple of funny icebreakers out there. He didn't give me any advice or do anything. He just kind of, it's like, yeah, communism. Yeah, and so because I fried that whole weekend. It was a wretched weekend. I threw it terrible, but it's just those little icebreakers. Like, okay, well that it kind of helps without helping,
Like
you know.
blaming Marie Calendar.
It's the most fun you could have bowling
God
without
dang,
having
Ray Calendar,
fun.
Sharon Weiss.
It sounds weird.
Huh?
Like we enjoyed that tournament so much, but we had fun without having fun.
Yeah. Bruce bowled really well. We did terrible.
But what's funny though is we weren't out of it. Like we could have put something together and made a run.
Yeah.
That's what where we finished. It was, I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I say put that pattern out every year.
Yeah. That's amazing because it was a pretty good equalizer.
No, literally, even Nick Pate was on the House channel complaining about it. Why would you put this out? Like,
Oh yeah. Well, I mean the lefties ran it over. Kevin Williams, AJ Rice, and Michael Holloman. It wasn't close.
but they're gonna do it though.
Yeah.
We know that they're gonna put a pattern out like that.
15 minutes left.
They're gonna put a pattern out that like that every single year. It doesn't.
Get back to some chat.
It doesn't matter. But yeah.
Yeah, but anyway, it's just to sum it up. It's a completely different experience. I'm
ready to do it again.
I'm
just
kind of
over it.
finally adjusting to the difference, but it's one of those you literally can't compare it.
No.
Because the lefties are going to run the field or the righties are going to run the field. There's not going to be any mix up. There's not going to be any in between. So you have to accept it, no matter which side you're on. And again, that's people telling me I'm being a liar. I'm like, well, you have never thrown a ball on the other side in your life. So lefties and right, this goes for either side.
I have. It's just not good.
Because the righties, it's really frustrating now to watch righties tug at 3 boards and have it sit there, and I tug at 3 boards, and it might even be Brooklyn. I mean, it's at least a big 4 Greek
Talking
church,
bad about
whatever
me?
else. Yeah, but when we have a look, and it stays the same,
Flipping them off under the
yeah, for 6 or 7 games, and the righties have to follow idiots throwing urethane, specific couple people that.
I won't name names.
We both.
I know exactly who it is.
Exactly who we're talking about.
Yep.
But when sometimes transition's good, sometimes it's bad. And most of the time on the right side, it starts off tough for 2 games.
Right.
It opens up for the next 4, and then the last 2 are kind of a grind to get through them. If the lefties have a look out of the gates or they can find something early, sorry.
Oh, compared to the right side. You're
Sorry.
saying? Yeah,
Yeah.
100%. You're just gonna
Yeah.
get rolled. I mean,
Because I don't know how many times I've started off. The 8 gamers are Lathe East. I'll go 190, 190. I'll average 240 or 250 for the next 4.
don't even get me started.
And then go 2-0, 160, and drop down to the bottom of the cut or lose out on the eliminator or something else. And on the left side, like, again, when we were in Wichita for that doubles tournament Southwest where
Yep.
I averaged 230 the entire time,
Yep.
I didn't shoot anything lower.
You had a bad
than,
partner that day, though.
I didn't shoot anything lower than 220. I didn't shoot anything.
Quick turbo.
Oh, Lord.
I didn't shoot anything lower than 220. Didn't shoot anything higher than 240. But the righty scores were just, whatever else. And I had the same look the entire day, the entire house, whatever else.
You had a bad partner.
Yeah.
My low game was
Yeah,
204 on the day, and I shot it like 6 times.
So, anyway.
Let's hit some chat stuff here for a minute because we got about 10 minutes or so.
Crying about that long
Fire in some stuff. I did have a misconception that I wanted to touch on, but we will do it later. And it's resurfacing versus. We kind of talked about it though. Resurfacing versus not resurfacing. That makes sense.
Yeah, and that's one of those things. I don't like to do full resurfaces because it freshens the cover back up. And sometimes when a ball dies, it's so much better than when it's fresh.
Oh no, 100%. We didn't, because that's another misconception is people will go, I've got to get this thing resurfaced.
Yeah, this
and
ball just died.
died.
Yeah, I threw it for 20 games and it died. And it's like, no.
No, and that ball's still pretty new.
Yeah, when you watch people just play an arrow inside of where they should be at and just fling the ball to the spot and expect it to stop and turn sideways.
Yep.
Some of the best balls I've ever owned have died and then got amazing. The hammer tab.
You hated your TNP until it died.
Yeah, my Tornado Pearl was it was an idle Helios, but the idle Helios has a more durable cover, so it won't die. I've been trying to kill it so that I can actually throw it. But the Tornado Pearl, I've fought with for a solid month, and it just turns sideways, can't carry, whatever else. It's a wrap 7 or a 7 or a 9 pin or an 8 pin or a stone 10 or a 6 pin or whatever else. And it's like, God, I hate this ball. And that was the night that I shot my first Lefty 300.
I was there.
It was the last night where I'm like, I'm taking this ball one more because we were getting into winter and the pattern, it was getting wetter.
Yep.
And I'm like, if it doesn't work tonight, I'm done with this thing. I'm sick of fighting it. It rolls great.
You shot 300.
I'm sick of fighting it, and I shot 300 with it, and then it didn't leave my bag for 4 or 5 months.
Yeah.
Know the feeling.
So, yeah.
Know the feeling. I literally fought you over Pindown stuff forever, and the last 2 300s I shot were both within a week of each other, and they were all Pindown balls.
Yeah, so.
But yeah, he was just like, I'm putting this in there, and if it doesn't do good tonight, I'm taking it out, and then shot 300.
I literally probably had the worst year miserably.
On the low end at Westridge.
Oh yeah, even Westridge.
Yeah, I shot 300 on 3 and 4 at Westridge.
He says. Oh gosh.
He rarely
Pop
gets to
that collar.
brag about it,
Just
so let him do it. That one he doesn't get to.
I shot
brag
2
about.
300s in a week at Gage.
Yeah, with your 10 revs, and they only.
Exactly. Look at that. Look at that.
Yeah,
Thank you.
no.
Oh, hell, the king.
No, I subbed with her at Gage the other night, and I shot 530.
You either have to have no revs.
I shot 560.
or
Well,
no tilt.
and I was 12 for 12 on 7s.
Dude,
That's a win.
they're just like
I did
pair
not-
to pair is so bad.
I did not miss a 7 pin. I left 12 of them picked, all 12 of them up for 530. So I mean, we're like a typical 7 pin night for me away from
What pair?
460.
3 and 4.
No.
No, we were on 7, 8.
Oh, best pair in the house, 7 and 8.
Yeah.
It felt like.
I haven't shot
No.
anything on that pair, and I've been on it 3
Okay.
times already this year. I haven't shot anything under 730 on that pair.
All right, random question. Does an IQTS still work if you polish it, or does it ruin the shape? Reason I'm thinking of buying both the NP and the solid for the middle of my bag, and I enjoy experiment. No, the IQ Tour Solid actually works better with polish on it because it's really smooth out of the box, and so when you add polish, it adds a little bit of shape to it.
On which ball?
The
Like,
IQ Tour,
solid?
the Tour
Really?
Solid.
I never put polish on it. Sorry. Go ahead. I'm
Yeah.
curious.
I put polish on it to add to add some shape to it, because if it does, or you don't necessarily have to polish it, you just have to let it lay and shine.
Yeah.
Because it's so early and so smooth most of the time that it's kind of flat for most people. Now, on the left side, it's a god ball because there's so much free shape. And that's the other thing is Spencer sent me a message and said, "So what am I genius about?" And I said, "Oh no, I said you haven't really done anything. It's just I like watching him throw the ball, and he's a two-hander that throws a pitch black 90% of the time."
Yeah.
But you kind of have to do that. It's just there's so much. That's really the biggest thing. There's so much shape on the left side. If you figure out how to control the shape, you don't necessarily need to throw it hard. You don't need to hook it a lot. You don't need to not hook it a lot. Whatever else. There's so much shape. If you learn how to control the shape, which the Spectre is dumb at, I can't wait until I can throw that ball.
Spectre. I love the name. Sorry.
Oh my gosh.
I
can't. The video guys get the balls a few weeks earlier than everybody else, so we have the Spectre and the Nova. The the reviews are already done, but
can you post them?
The Altered Reality and the Wolverine just released. There's the Altered and the Wolverine just released last Friday. We have other stuff to think about. The Nova and the Spectre don't come out until January 14th, so there's no reason to start talking about them now. We have plenty of other stuff in the catalog that's coming out new to talk about, so I can't release videos. I can't release videos or throw the balls in competition, league, tournaments, whatever else until Christmas Eve, which sucks a little bit because the Spectre's amazing. The Nova's a little too strong for me. The Nova looks pretty good for her. It's a little too strong for me. But I can't wait to throw the Spectre. I can't wait to throw it because it is...
You can't even throw it in league?
No.
That's the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard. I'm sorry.
It's
already out there. A video's been seen. Who cares?
Well, and that's the thing is that they don't want to really push. They want to get the stuff out there.
Wolverine and Altered just released, so now you're stepping on new releases.
When does it come out?
January. The Altered?
Am I this way?
No.
No, I'm on the other side.
I don't know. But no, the Spectre.
When is it? Sorry.
The Spectre and the Nova don't come out until the middle of January.
Yeah, neither does this ball, but I can...
Yeah, I don't know. They don't understand. I don't know. I don't know why they announced stuff a few days before a couple other balls come out.
There's a good question here, though.
I digress.
Good question, because since we're hitting questions while we're limited on time. Do the two of you prefer out-of-the-box service, or do you automatically do a service change? So I'll start with this. I only do a service change when I first drill a ball without throwing it on pearl stuff.
Yeah.
Instantly hit the ball with 3,000 or 4,000. On the motive side, our stuff is really, really, really shiny, and I hate shine. So when it comes to solid stuff, no, I'll leave it a box. I'll throw it for a little bit, and then I usually take it back to box by hand, as close as I can get by hand. I haven't put anything on a spinner in a while other than for tournaments, but what about you?
I like factory shine. I'm one of the few out there that actually like, but even some of the new stuff has been a little too nutso. But when we go out and shoot for videos, we literally throw 10 to 15 games while we're shooting for videos. And so by then, the factory shine kind of wears itself off and it kind of evens itself out and whatever else. And so the first thing that we ever do with a bowling ball, we drill it and we go shoot video. I never, ever, ever throw a ball in league, tournament, whatever else before shooting video with it. So by the time we're done shooting, it's kind of half, most of the way worn in anyway. The Spectre was kind of a little over-under out of the box, but as soon as we got 5 games on it, it really loosened up, and then we both loved the Spectre already.
Yeah.
And the Nova, it's a little too early and smooth for me, so I'm not going to be able to throw it. Angel has other stuff. She likes her intensity, honey badger intensity more, and so the Nova is just not one that's really going to work out too well for what?
Yeah, one more question you got to hit on quick, by the way.
Well, I mean, yeah, she's okay with the Nova, but...
Because we've got to...
Storm Dog, what are you doing, buddy? No.
There's one more question. We got to hit on it quick because we need to do our plug before we hit out. Was going to get the Wolverine, but the Spectre looks amazing. Thought the same thing, that they may have just screwed the Wolverine over. Oh, I can't read.
No. Yeah, the Spectre has quite a bit stronger cover on it than the Wolverine. They are kind of in the same area because the Wolverine is 254.053 on the numbers. The Spectre is 254.050 on the numbers. But the Wolverine cover is basically R2S, so it's basically the High Road Pearl cover. R3S on the Spectre is like the snap lock cover, the intense cover, so it's a quite a bit, even though it's R3S versus basically R2S, it's a quite a bit stronger cover. And so, however, the Spectre is really, really clean and smooth for R3S Pearl. So we are going to have, as soon as I can release videos, I am going to do a Spectre and Wolverine video. I have a Wolverine on the way. And so we're going to compare the two balls side by side.
Earlier too, so.
Yeah, we're going to compare the two balls side by side. There's a lot of similarity. There is a lot of overlap. Don't get me wrong, but the Wolverine, I think, likes to play deeper angles a little bit better, and the Spectre likes to play pretty straight. So the Spectre is like a longer idle pearl or like a trend or something like that. The Wolverine is somewhere between like a trend and a trend 2.
Oh, really? Cool.
So yeah, it kind of plays in the middle.
We're getting close to the end here. Once again, check us out on Instagram, the Breakdown Pair on Instagram. The links for Bowlers Mark for Luke, Rosedall 10, Haas 10, 10% off on Cool Wick.
Yep.
And we have a big stream coming up next Saturday, the 18th, right, Angel? The 18th. Once again, we talked about at the very beginning of our show. We're going to raise some money for some puppers for Positive Tales Kansas City.
Yep.
We start at 7 p.m. next Saturday. Lots of stuff to be won. Every $10 you donate gets you an entry. And once again, you can win everything. You donate $100.
Yeah. If
not telling everybody to donate $100. You donate $100. That every $10 of that 100, you can win it all. So just put it in there and help us raise some money for a good cause. And we will be in here talking about some cool stuff next Saturday. We're gonna have James, Mr. Shimwrecker Enterprises, right here where I'm sitting, as I sit right here in the middle.
I'm gonna save some of my canoe beers.
So it's gonna be like this. It's gonna be like this. And
we're gonna have some deer jerky.
Oh, even better. We're gonna talk about our best bowling balls of the our favorite best bowling balls of the year. Worst bowling ball of the year, or least favorite, shelf appeal, most surprise of the year, or surprise of the year. We're gonna.
Sorry, millennial medicine. We're done. We've been going for a little while. Angel's dad gets out of rehab today, so not drug rehab. He's not that kind of rehab. It's a medical rehab. So.
I'm just gonna cover my.
So yeah, she's.
You may not
No, this is Josh. Now I'm set.
You may be
Yeah.
in the hospital. I'm gonna put you.
Yeah.
Next week on the Breakdown Pair, I'll be running it by myself. It'll be the Breakdown, Jonathan. No, next week, once again, we do not have a stream because we are going to be bowling at Royal Crest in Lawrence, Kansas.
Yeah, we got a couple awesome tournaments. Thanks, Dave, Mike, and Kim, and Gabby.
Yep, and Gabby.
It's kind of funny. Mike called Gabby the mascot, and Dave's like, "You call Gabby a mascot?" He's like, "Well, she kind of is."
She gets called that all the time.
Yeah, I know. Gabby's awesome.
He was just messing with you. So once again, follow us on the Breakdown Pair on Instagram, please. Trying to grow that, help us out because we enjoy doing that. Cool Rosedall 10, Hosdall 10 for 10% off. Bowlers Mart link. Also, the stream next Saturday, and please send us in some stuff to the Breakdown Pair. Sorry, I said the breakdownpair@gmail.com. It helps us give us ideas for new shows. You got questions, you want coaching, please send it in. We can do some coaching stuff. We can put it right up here on the screen and break it down for everybody to watch. It does us a big favor to help out. And follow the Discord. It's been up in the chat here while we're here. James, somebody can say.
No, he's put it in like 10 times.
He's put it in like 10 times, so we're good. Follow us in Discord. Hang out with all of us. We always enjoy doing this. Thank you to Norseman Brewing. Nice beard, bro.
Yep. That was good stuff. Love it.
I'm going to go drill an Odyssey. There it is. Thank you, James. Appreciate it, buddy. Follow that link. Join us in Discord. And we'll see you guys later. Once again, we do not have a show next week. When's our next show, by the way?
Well, it'll be Saturday, actually.
It'll be Saturday. Well, yeah. So it'll be.
Are we doing the Breakdown Pair? Is that what we're calling it?
Well,
it's not going to be called the Breakdown Pair.
Yeah,
It's kind of,
but we are doing this type of thing on next Saturday, 7 p.m. Central.
It won't be number 12, but we'll.
Yeah, and then we'll have
the day after Christmas.
Yeah, day after. We don't have anything going on. So day after Christmas, we'll have that, and then New Year's it'll be like the 2nd or something.
We'll wear some ugly sweaters the day after Christmas. How about that?
Sunday.
Yes, sir.
And then Spectre and Nova videos I can release on Christmas Eve. So that'll be next
There you go.
Friday.
And I'll have an Odyssey video
So-
hopefully by next weekend. So
Yeah.
you can follow me on YouTube too. Just Jonathan Hawes. That's all it is. So
All right. Yeah.
Very
Thanks
good.
everybody for hanging out. We will see you next time.